Premier League. It's the opener at Old Trafford, Manchester United against Fulham, with two former Premier League captains, Steve Bruce and Andy Townsend, alongside your commentator on Talksport, Sam Matterface.
New season, new structure, new players, new backroom staff, new style, new opportunities. But unless a new Manchester United emerges from all of that, Erik Ten Hag knows that before long there will be a new Manchester United manager. You may be fed up with hearing it, but Taylor Swift is headlining Wembley this week. Yeah, she gets a lot of attention, but no one gets scrutiny and headlines quite like this football club. And there were a lot of lows last season, and despite it being their worst ever Premier League campaign, Ten Hag has been given a second chance to tailor his team into Manchester United, Erik's version. Marco Silva has lost some senior pros in the summer, but Fulham were fearless at the Cottage last season, where they could boast the best home record in the bottom half. But away from home, they won just 4 times all season. The good news, one of them was here. But as Manchester United fans know all too well, that happened quite a lot. Here are the two teams. Onana, the Manchester United goalkeeper. Dalot plays at right back with Maguire, Martinez and new signing Mazraoui. We expect to play at left back. We'll keep an eye on that. Casemiro and Mainu, two holders in midfield. Then Ahmad, Mount, Fernandes and Rashford. For Fulham, Leno in goal. Tete at right back. Diop and Bassi, the two centre halves. There's no Townsend. Robinson is the left back. Townsend has gone to Chelsea, of course. Lukic holds in midfield. No Polinia. He's gone to Bayern Munich. Pereira and Smith Rowe just in front of him, with Adama Traore, Muniz and Iwobi on the left-hand side. Our referee tonight is Rob Jones, all in black, and the VAR, who they promise will have to see a clear error by his colleague to intervene this season, is Jared Gillett. Manchester United in a new red shirt with 3 strips down the sleeve, a new Snapdragon logo on the front, white shorts and black socks, will attack the scoreboard end in the first half. Fulham in white shirts, black shorts, attacking the goal away to our left. And immediately I can tell you that Nasser Mazraoui will play right back tonight, with Dalot playing as the left back this evening for Manchester United. As the top flight returns, and everything you need is on the Talksport app. Tomorrow Ipswich against Liverpool, followed by Around the Grounds with Adrian Durham. Commentary from Newcastle Southampton on 2. The Sunday session comes from Stamford Bridge. Monday Night Football from Leicester against Postecoglou's Tottenham. Talksport and the Premier League. It's a love story, baby. Just say yes and download the app. The referee blows his first whistle. The players take the knee as they continue to support the No Room for Racism campaign. And then as they rise and the whistle blows, we are off and underway at the start of the 2024-25 Premier League season. And Steve Bruce and Andy Townsend are here. They would have been in the same Manchester United team if Fergie had had his way. What will you be looking at in the first few minutes, Andy?
Well, look, certainly the appetite of the United team. You'd imagine it's going to be right up there. Here comes Marcus Rashford.
It's already offside. He's gone 5 yards a little bit too early and got in behind down that left-hand side, speeding away into open green grass. But the flag was up very quickly on this near side by Ian Hussin, the assistant. And Rob Jones gives the free kick.
Yeah, I was just going to say that the appetite, the hunger, the application in the first 5-10 minutes, always vitally important here. Steve, they'll want to get off to a rip-roaring start tonight, won't they?
It will be, and I'm going to be fascinated to see if they go and go after it and they press the ball high up the pitch, which obviously we didn't see a lot of this last season. That'll be interesting to see. And it looks as if Mount's playing off Fernandes to start with. That's going to be a fascinating how they're going to have that balance too.
Manchester United defending as the ball goes towards their left edge of the penalty area. Rodrigo Muniz tries to bundle his way past Casemiro. Mazraoui wins his first challenge, shrugs him off and plays it into Ahmad, just 6 yards short of the halfway line on this right-hand side. Old Trafford, which might not be here for much longer, but as the sun sets over the corner of the Stretford end, the sky milky blue, the floodlights burnishing a vibrant green surface, and its seats flooded with expectant support, dappled in those new blood red replica shirts. It looks magnificent, it feels magnificent, the atmosphere is good, and the occasional whip of those familiar football food smells adds to the sense of the weekend's returning to normal, Steve.
Oh, if you can't smell the hot dogs, there's something wrong, isn't there? That's always a big sign. Smell the hot dogs when you go to a football match, for sure.
Here is Harry Maguire at the heart of the defence, shirt tucked into his waist. He brushes the ball off towards Mazraoui, gets the return. He's closed down by Iwobi, who chases him towards the edge of the Manchester United penalty area. On the left edge of it, Lisandro Martinez swishes it back to Onana. Onana then out to the right-hand side, and then Mazraoui trying to build. It was Erik ten Hag who said yesterday he is the kind of player that you cannot pressurise Mazraoui, because he will always find a solution.
Well, we'll see how much he's tested tonight. Fulham, by the way, Sasa Lukic just sitting in front of Issa Diop and Calvin Bassey. Andreas Pereira in and alongside him. Emil Smith-Rowe in that 10 position in behind Muniz, with Adama Traore off the right and Alex Iwobi off the left.
Here is Casemiro in the centre circle, in the Fulham half of the field. Swishes it out to Amad Diallo. Had a bright pre-season in the United States of America. Back to Mainu, outside of the right boot from the centre of the pitch, out to the far side. Picked up by Rashford. It was a good pass by Mainu. It gets the return off of the England man and then goes back out to the left-hand side, and Dallo once again. We played 3 minutes on Talksport. It's goalless here at Old Trafford. Mainu tussling with Andreas Pereira, the former United player, goes down, and it's a free kick 10 yards outside the box. Erik ten Hag saying yesterday that he didn't think the team was ready. That made headlines. I think what he was trying to say, Andy, was that he hadn't had a chance to combine the new players in the squad with the team that he had on the US tour and those coming back from the Euros and the Copa America.
Yeah, and I think many managers have been in the same boat, Sam. Heard Pep Guardiola earlier talking about Rodri not involved in their game against Chelsea on Sunday. I think that's the way it's been for a lot of players.
Lukic taps it to his left, and then Calvin Bassey will send Fulham on the attack up to Iwobi, who's midway inside opposition territory. Mazraoui gets tight to him and pushes him back, forces him back towards the halfway line. Manchester United started cautiously in the Community Shield against Manchester City last week, but they will be expected to be the aggressors here this evening. They have been working on a more progressive system. They will hope to have ironed out the wobbles that they encountered playing out from the back in that Community Shield as well. Emil Smith-Rowe, wearing a long-sleeve Fulham shirt, on the halfway line, pokes it out to Iwobi. He teases it down the touchline looking for Anthony Robinson. Maguire comes out from the centre of defence, slides the ball out of play. A robust challenge on Robinson. It goes out for a throw-in. 4.5 gone. Here's Iwobi on the left side.
Steve, what are you thinking of, or what are you expecting from Casemiro this season?
Well, all of a sudden, I'm looking at him today, and he looks as if he's lost a little bit of weight. I mean, you know, everybody criticised him last year, and everybody said how he looked awful and things like the other. And in his first year here, he was absolutely a revelation, and he don't fall off a cliff that quickly, you know. So he looks fitter than he did the best part of last year. Looks as if he's lost a little bit of weight. He's a fantastic footballer, Andy, and you expect him to be better than he was last year.
Andreas Pereira just trying to body swerve away from Mainu, who's a little bit clumsy with his challenge. It's given a free kick to Fulham, 10 yards outside the Manchester United penalty area, wide on the right. So an attacking situation which Fulham will try to deal with. Manchester United's set pieces, both offensive and defensive, have been pretty poor over the course of the last decade, really, but especially recently. They conceded so many goals from set pieces last campaign, and they've got a new set piece coach who has been working on issues at both ends. Fulham trying to construct an opportunity here. Both Iwobi and Andreas Pereira standing over. In fact, it's Traore and Pereira standing over it. It's looped into the box, an easy catch for Onana. Onana, who wanted to distribute very quickly on the US tour, has done just that, bowling the ball beautifully to Mazraoui, out towards the near side. He cuts in field. Casemiro joining just on the edge of the centre circle. Back to Mainu and out wide towards the Manchester United left. They're on the attack with Fernandes. Infield he goes, finds Mainu in bright blue boots. He pokes it back to Lisandro Martinez, and they just slow the attack. The momentum gone, and they'll look to patiently try and build again down that left-hand side.
Yeah, every time United go square, of course, it gives Fulham a chance to get back and get their shape narrowed down and just force United to go out towards those wider areas.
Ball flicked over the top by Rashford, looking for Fernandes to run off the back of Issa Diop. He read it well, Diop, and managed to clear. And now Adama Traore has the chance to go on one of those swashbuckling runs down the right side. He pushes aside Martinez, bounds into the box, sets it back to the edge of the area, almost comes to Iwobi. Great challenge by Mazraoui, gets there just in time, slides across, and in the nick of time saves Manchester United. Adama Traore putting them on the back foot, and almost Andy Townsend crafting the opening goal.
Yeah, fantastic run. That's what he can do. Very quickly get you out deep in your own territory, and all of a sudden up on the edge of the opposing 18-yard box. He's unstoppable if he avoids that first challenge. And that's the key. I think whoever goes to close Adama Traore down, you've got to get very close, if not intercept or make him drop it off to somebody else. But if he skips past you, then everybody can be in trouble very quickly.
Scored last week against Hoffenheim, suffered with hamstring injuries last season. But he's in the team from the start this campaign, and he's a real handful to deal with.
He's a blistering pace, as Andy said, and if he gets a run on you, you're in serious trouble for any defender.
Fulham, who set up with a rather aggressive lineup in their last pre-season friendly against Hoffenheim, certainly have been a threat already, and Muniz, who was a threat at the end of last season, has just nutmegged Casemiro. Played the ball out wide towards Traore, who shoots right-footed from a tight angle. As he gets into the penalty area, it was just a little bit ambitious, and he thundered the ball towards the near post, and it was well wide of goal.
That's where he has to improve. I mean, he's got all this blistering pace, and can he find the last piece? Can he find the pass? And there, the finish. He'd be a little bit disappointed. He must be with that type of finish. You would expect better from him.
Well, last season we saw a record number of goals in the Premier League. I wonder whether we'll have a similarly open Premier League this time around. Manchester United trying to craft an attack from right at the very back, and Arna playing out. Comes to Mainu, into Rashford. Rashford can't hold it. Ball is spooned away just inside the Fulham half by Issa Diop, the big, powerful central defender. Mount wins it back, then loses it. Then Smith Rowe puts it through his legs, and it's popped out towards his near side, and Pereira to Robinson for Fulham, who in possession here. 0-0 the score. And after Manchester United looked to start quite brightly, Fulham have actually taken control of the match, Andy.
Yeah, they have. They're knocking it about with a bit of confidence. Haven't seen enough so far of Bruno, of Mason Mount, Marcus Rashford. Those key forward players for United. They want to pick the ball up and start running a little bit more at the white shirts.
Just a little bit of confusion there about who was supposed to be pressing where, and Bruno Fernandes and Ahmad having a conversation down in front of us. The new approach that has been mandated from above by Jason Wilcox, the technical director, brought in to oversee a shift to a more eye-catching, forward-thinking style of play that can eventually be adopted as part of the club's DNA, will take a bit of time, won't it?
Well, it certainly will. That's not going to happen overnight. But I think that can also, it doesn't have to be by design. That comes with a bit of confidence and winning some matches and getting a bit of rhythm into the team and into the game, picking a consistent team as much as he possibly can, Erik ten Hag. I don't think that always has to be done on a piece of paper or back in the manager's office. I think just a bit of repetition amongst the boys, winning some games, getting a bit of confidence, making this place one of the toughest, as it was when Brucey was here. It was the toughest place to come, and it's a long road getting back there, but they've got to try and make that happen again, get that going.
Now pressurising Calvin Bassey at the heart of the defence, and then doing the same to Anthony Robinson. This is a little bit better as far as pressing from Manchester United is concerned. They cut off the route to the goalkeeper, and now Fulham struggling to get out, but doing well enough to keep hold of it, send it back eventually to Bernd Leno, who's taken the number 1 shirt this season after Marek Rodak moved on to pastures new. And then Diop manages to clear down the middle of the pitch. A thunderous header, though, away by Harry Maguire, who read that well. And Steve Bruce, you would have been proud of that.
Certainly, it was one of the easier ones for Harry, to be fair, but he did absolutely make a strong challenge. And it was great to see Mount getting after it. That's what the United punters want to see. They want to see a little bit of intensity of the forward players getting after the ball better than what they have done. And certainly from Mount there, started the crowd reaction.
We played 11 minutes. You're listening to Manchester United 0, Fulham 0 on Talksport with Sky Sports. Don't forget that you can stream more Sky Sports football than ever before, available with no contract on now. Like Manchester United versus Fulham live right now, search Now Sports, the first of a smorgasbord of football over the weekend. Ipswich against Liverpool in the Premier League is for you tomorrow at 12:30 on Talksport. At the same time, we got West Brom Leeds. Here, Fernandes sends the ball into the box from the left-hand side for Manchester United. He got within about 5 yards of the corner flag, then swung the ball into the middle of the penalty area away to our right, and it was clutched by the blue-clad German goalkeeper Bernd Leno, who pulled it into his chest and managed to clear. He kept 10 clean sheets last season. Bernd Leno's been terrific since signing from Arsenal. He made the 4th most saves in the Premier League last season, behind Areola, Kaminski and Onana. Here is Ahmad down the left-hand side, trying to get into the penalty area. Gets a push in the back when Robinson goes down. The referee shakes his head and says there was not enough contact. And even if there was contact, there was not enough consequence. Andy Townsend.
Yeah, no, watch the referee there. Great run from Ahmad. Really positive work. That's, again, it's important that they do that. But referee wasn't having any of that at all.
Here at the other end, the ball being brought away by Kenny Tete, who comes forward and then shoots from distance towards the postage stamp, and Onana has to spring up with his left hand and push the ball over the top of the crossbar. Tete was allowed to run far too far. There was no pressure on him, so he unleashed a shot towards the near corner, and it was going right in the top corner of the net. But across went Onana and produced a sensational save.
What an exceptional save from the goalkeeper. I don't think any of us expected that from Tete to hit him from there. But wonderful save from the goalkeeper.
Really good, but that's that little passage of play, Steve, that I was speaking about before the game, where they thought they should have had a penalty. Everyone's still appealing. A couple of slick Fulham passes. All of a sudden, Kenny Tete is hitting a shot from 20 yards, very nearly dipping under the bar. Where are they in between, United? Got to have more bodies back behind the ball.
Here's the corner into the near post. A free header for Rodrigo Muñez, who heads the ball down towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and Manchester United scramble it clear. But there was no way that he should have got a 3-header in there. We'll ask Steve Bruce about the penalty in just a second, but Fulham still in possession and still on the attack. Emil Smith-Rowe just right of the centre circle. 13 minutes gone. Manchester United 0, Fulham 0. Adama Traore bursting down the right-hand side, creating the first chance of the game for Fulham. Manchester United thinking they should have had a penalty. At the other end, the ball goes up to Kenny Tete, and he unleashes a firecracker which Onana had to pull up a brilliant save from. Ball into the box by Iwobi, looking for Muñez as he runs towards the edge of the box, but Harry Maguire is there in Manchester United colours to head it away, and then they got the ball up to the halfway line, and now it's picked up by Rashford, who opens up his legs and tries to take on Tete. Down that left-hand side, they scurry deep into Fulham territory. He's pushed off the ball, Rashford, over on the far side by Andreas Pereira, and the free kick this time is given. Before we talk about that, Steve Bruce, you've seen a replay of the penalty shout, and you gave me a face.
I give you a face, but then on the other angle, I thought the referee got it right. I thought at one time there was contact. Fair play to the referee and for VAR. They've got that one perfectly right. There wasn't a penalty.
Well, it's worth remembering that Jared Gillett in the VAR office in Stockley Park is only going to intervene if his colleague makes a clear error.
Well, we're all delighted to hear about that. That's for sure, aren't we? That needed to be addressed, and thankfully they've done it.
Yeah, they say that they're going to go back to the old maxim of minimum interference, maximum impact. Here is the free kick over on the far side then for Manchester United, attacking the scoreboard end away to our left. It's right on the perimeter of the playing surface. It's in towards Casemiro's header, is over the top of the crossbar, and the offside flag I think went up against one of those Manchester United runners into the box anyway. It may well have been Casemiro. Went just a little bit too early, Andy Townsend.
Yeah, he's good at that, Casemiro. He's done that a few times last year where he gets in the box and he gets his head on things, and he's pretty good at getting them on target too. That one's just always over the bar. The flag did go up. Somebody, I think, in and around him, if it wasn't him, has just strayed that little bit too far. But again, he's very, very useful in those situations, Casemiro.
Andreas Jorgensen is the new set-piece coach for Manchester United, taking responsibility for attacking and defensive situations. That's a couple of times this season already they've almost scored from a set-piece. Fulham playing out from the back under pressure from Manchester United. Triangles on the edge of the box, a good header won by Maguire again, and Manchester United put pressure on the ball, win it back, but then Rashford gives it away, and it's straight up to Adama Traore. He's on his skates again. He goes on the outside of Martinez, who this time takes no prisoners, walks across, bumps into him with a little bit of Argentinian aggression, nudges him off the ball slips behind for a goal kick, and the Old Trafford crowd like that.
Brilliant defending from the kid. He was absolutely, I feared for him a little bit, but defended fantastically well.
0-0 the score. 15 minutes played on Talksport. We're bringing you more live football than anyone else on national radio. The EFL ongoing at this moment in time. And that's over on Talksport 2 in the Championship. It's Coventry who lead by 1-0 against Oxford. Haji Wright with a goal after 15 minutes there for Mark Robins' team, looking for their first EFL League win of the season. Here is Mount down the right-hand side. Nudged off the ball by Anthony Robertson. The referee says the contact was fair. Ahmad picks it up though. Centre circle is Mainu. Manchester United swish it out to the far side on Rashford. He brings it down, looks up. He's got Dallo going on the overlap. The ball was played towards Fernandes, who went down after a collision with Diop. And the ball spilled loose for Fulham to tidy up from the back. Calvin Bassey just in front of the 6-yard box, just hesitated slightly, opened his body up and played it out to Robinson. Mazraoui did well again. It's picked up by Mainu, who then skids past one challenge. Lukic gets back and wins the second, and then Fulham turn the ball over and immediately go on the attack. Across comes Mount, and he gets behind Smith Rowe, and then he picks up a yellow card for a challenge which the crowd don't think was.
Yeah, no surprises that Rob Jones has given Mason Mount a yellow card, but again, United attacking, losing possession, a couple of clever passes, and Fulham are immediately travelling into 20-30 yards of space, Steve, right in the middle of the park.
Yeah, that's a concern that they've got, isn't it? That's 2-3 times it happens, and especially if Traore picks it up with his pace. And to be fair, Iwobi's got good pace. Smith Rowe handles the ball terrifically well. They've got to be a little bit careful on the counter-attack and deal with it better than what they are at the moment.
Still waiting for our first Manchester United goal attempt. Nothing on target or off target so far. 2 from Fulham, 1 on target, 1 off target. But Manchester United might get one now. Iwobi has lost it. Casemiro's trying to poke it forward, but it's behind Mason Mount, and Lukic will pick it up and run it clear and get it over the halfway line. Still that milky blue sky above our head, the floodlights on, but only just necessary at this time of night. It's coming up to 18 minutes past 8 on a Friday night, the first Friday night of the football season, live on Talksport. Manchester United 0, Fulham 0. Here's Smith Rowe turning the ball into Iwobi, back to Lukic, then Iwobi again. He looks up, plays it well down the left side. Robinson almost met it, just went across him. He hesitated slightly, but that may have been because he realised he was in an offside position, and eventually he's flagged over on that far side. It's going to be a free kick. Manchester United's goal return last season was really troubling. Andy, 57 goals scored, was fewer than West Ham, nearly 30 goals fewer than Newcastle United. Their joint top Premier League goal scorers got just 10 each last season.
And we haven't had a shot in anger tonight yet, have we? We haven't had anything that Burnt Leno has even got to consider, really. The attacks so far have been in kind of fits and starts. You can hear the noise levels really fly upwards when United start to get over the halfway line and they knock a couple of clever balls into the strikers and Bruno Fernandes' feet. But in the main, it's still a little bit stop-start in terms of their attacking play.
Rashford's just gone down the middle momentarily, and Fernandes has gone out to the left-hand side. Would you be an advocate, Steve, of maybe dipping into the transfer market? Hold on, here's Fernandes being played over the top, down the left side. He's at a really tight angle, hits the ball on the volley. Never going to trouble Leno from there. It hits the side netting.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to go on after another striker. I mean, they brought the Zerki, is it?
They brought Zerki. He's sort of a 9.5, he describes himself as.
A 9.5. Well, I think they need a number 9 at the moment, that's for sure, especially at home. And this, for me, is the concern for Man U. It's so easy for Fulham to just play out the way they're playing. They've got to really go man for man at the back and leave 1 against 1 at the back if they're really going to press the ball, especially from a goal kick.
Ahmad picks the ball up after good work from Maguire. No one to aim at in the centre, so he goes wide towards Mason Mount. Cuts back in field. They're midway inside Fulham territory here. Wandering into the centre is Casemiro. Nudges it back to Lisandro Martinez. 20 minutes gone, 0-0. This is Talksport. Sam Matterface alongside Steve Bruce and Andy Townsend tonight on this Friday Night Football. Ahmad trying to take on Anthony Robinson down the right as Manchester United look at it. Into Mount it goes, then Mainu, then back to Lisandro Martinez. Andy, you were about to talk about the chance of Bruno Fernandes.
Well, I'm just seeing Bruno Fernandes makes a run in behind that Fulham back line, gets to the byline, crosses it, nothing there, nobody there. Now, as it happens, the cross wasn't good enough, it just went out for a goal kick. But the point, he immediately turned around and said, where's everybody getting in that box? Others have got to get up with him.
Ahmad down the right side again, tries to cut in past Robinson. He wanders infield on his left foot. Oh, it's won back brilliantly by Mainu, because he'd actually given it up there, Diallo. Out to the left it goes, but his pass isn't precise enough. Cut out by Tete and cleared by Fulham to halfway. Rodrigo Muniz holds it up well, plays it wide towards the Fulham right, and then bursting forward the Dutchman Kenny Tete. He gets down the right side. It's a decent crossing towards that near post, and Maguire watched it all the way and managed to head it clear. United turn it over. There's a good tempo about the game, even if it's not perfect, and it's a little bit sloppy at times, and Manchester United guilty again of a little bit of a sloppy pass into Ahmad. He made the best of it.
Yeah. Again, poor ball from Marcus Rashford. And I think when United turn the ball over, they've got to show a little bit more hunger and appetite to get people forward, and people in possession be a little bit braver when they've got it. At the moment, when they're over the halfway line and they're travelling with the ball, they're all trying to get rid of it maybe a little too quickly, and it's a little bit careless, the final ball.
Coventry 1, Oxford United 1, the latest over on Talksport 2. Here it is 0-0 between Manchester United and Fulham, who finished 13th in the Premier League last season. The team almost reached the FA Cup final as well. They the Carabao Cup final as well. They reached the semi-finals for the first time. Here is Mazraoui, edge of the D, plays it to Fernandes, under pressure immediately by Lukic, who's done well at the start of the game, really. I think that job maybe is made a little bit easier for both Diop and Bassi, and for Lukic, by the lack of a presence of a physical number 9 for Manchester United. They don't really have anyone to mark those two centre-halves. It's just a sporadic run from one of those midfield players, Fernandes or Mount, that they've got to be watchful of.
Mazraoui started all right, Steve, hasn't he?
Oh, he has. He looked comfortable in possession, that's for sure, doesn't he? Absolutely. As soon as he gets it, he never looks hurried. Very, very good at possession of the ball. He's going to be a big player for United this year, because he handles the ball terrifically well.
Marco Silva's the kind of guy that you can ask a question to and he'll talk at you for 3 minutes, but he's not being asked a question by Anthony Taylor, the fourth official, but he's giving him one hell of a verbal assault. He is all action. He has history here at Old Trafford. He was sent off in an FA Cup quarter-final here for being a little bit too emotional, let's just say that. Gets to you though, doesn't it?
It's first game of the season. He's full of testosterone, or whatever you want to call it, and he's a bit aggrieved that it was the free kick, to be fair.
Free kick given against Calvin Bassi, and Bruno Fernandes will launch it into the box. It's headed by Casemiro again. It's over the top of the crossbar again, and it's out for a goal kick away to our right hand side. Manchester United still yet to have a shot on target in the game, and we played 23 minutes here at Old Trafford.
Yeah, and we still haven't seen Mount get involved at all, really. We hadn't seen Mount or Fernandes, to be fair. And this is what frustrates me, United, here now. They've got to leave man for man at the back here and push up and stop this. And it's so comfortable for Fulham to get out constantly.
Yeah, it's a good point. Steve's talking about there the way that Fulham are able to, through Bernd Leno, play it to a centre-half, who rolls it to another centre-half, who eventually goes to a full-back, and it's easily clipped forward because United are reluctant. They want that extra bit of insurance at the back. And that means it can be sometimes difficult to go and pin the opposition deep in their own territory. You'd like to think, despite there's no Rasmus Højlund or that focal point, that target man, they should still be able to go and threaten that ball, I think, a little bit more than they have done so far in the opening 25 minutes.
Mainoo's won it back in the heart of midfield, but it's deep inside his own half. The ball eventually played forward to Mount, who gets slid into by Calvin Bassi. That's going to be a yellow card for Calvin Bassi, who was just a little bit over-aggressive with that challenge, and after what Mount dished out earlier and ended up getting a yellow card for, no surprise to see Rob.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Get money back as a free bet up to £10 if one leg of your Football 5 Plus hacker lets you down. Pre-match straight line hackers only. Odds of 3-1 or greater. 18 plus gambleaware.org. Tomorrow.
Get Mount right on the
back.
This stadium is shaking.
Exclusive full match commentary of
the ground now, especially these days, because you're not allowed to tackle from behind anyway anymore.
Talksport 2.
26 gone. Ball picked up on halfway. Ball played down the left-hand side, where it's collected eventually by Dalot into Mainu onto Rashford cuts it back into Dalot once again. There's 7 or 8 yards towards the edge of the penalty area before Manchester United can try and release someone into the box. They go square instead to Mazraoui, and now Ahmad fancies his chances against Anthony Robinson once again. Looks to go on the outside, then turns away and goes back towards the left, back into Casemiro, right edge of the penalty area, deep cross to the far post. Rashford is coming in, heads the ball down, but there's no one behind him. He was sort of trying to angle it backwards, and Tete did enough to put him off.
Yeah, really good ball from Casemiro, that.
Here's Mainu, edge of the area, left side, tees it up for Mount, then back to Casemiro, drives it from 20 yards, but it's a good 3 or 4 yards over the top of the crossbar. Never really looked comfortable. He was set up well by good awareness from Mainu, then Mount, and Mount rolled him the ball at a good angle, and he had space and time, but he never really looked set.
It was arguably the best passage of play, wasn't it? And unfortunately for Casemiro, he hasn't really got it right. He'd be disappointed with that because he's got bags and bags of time, and unfortunately it's a poor effort.
Well, United finished a head-shakingly low 8th in the Premier League last season, their worst ever Premier League finish. They won just 18 of their 38 matches. They lost 6 here. Can you imagine ever being in that situation, losing 6 here?
I don't think we lost 6 in 10 years I was here, you know. I don't think so.
It was a different time.
It was.
They do have new coaches, though, to help them out. New assistant manager in Ruud van Nistelrooy, and Rene Hacker, the former Go-Ahead Eagles head coach. Boy, they would love to have him in the starting 11. Ruud van Nistelrooy, who scored a bucket load of goals when he was...
He was some player, by the way. He was a goal scorer.
Just a little bit. He only played about 250 games for Manchester United, but he scored an unbelievable amount of goals. He was the top scorer in basically every season, full season that he played. He scored over 20 Premier League goals in every full season that he played. He had one injury hit campaign where he didn't make it, but he could finish from anywhere.
Substitutes just warming up down to our left, and a big round of applause for Matthijs de Ligt, of course,
and Garnacho, of course.
Yeah.
He's made himself a big firm favourite here. They enjoy watching him play.
Oh, given away by Leno, edge of the area. Now Fernandes outside of the boot, hits it straight at the goalkeeper, who makes a save and redeems himself after playing out from the back and handing Manchester United a golden chance to take the lead, a golden chance they haven't taken.
Oh, he's a lucky boy there, Bernd Leno. He tries to wrap a side foot pass, a straight side foot pass into a white shirt, misses it completely, goes straight to United. It drops for Bruno. He's only got Bernd Leno to beat from about 10 yards out, and the goalkeeper redeems himself by getting his body in the way of it.
Big chance that for Manchester United, who haven't really crafted many of their own chances, but were handed one by Fulham there. Bruno Fernandes near side the right. Fulham getting back into shape well. Mazraoui, who's had a bright start to life in a Manchester United jersey after being parachuted in to this back four that is still waiting for Matthijs de Ligt, and still sorting out other options. Victor Lindelof, I think, will end up moving on if they can get someone to take him. Johnny Evans signed a new 1-year contract, started the Community Shield last week. Here's Mazraoui, short to Mainu, and then Casemiro over eager to try and win it back, gives away a foul deep inside Fulham territory. It's right in the middle part of the Fulham half. It's going to be a free kick.
You see there, Sam, as soon as that ball dropped to Adama Traore, that interception, Casemiro, bang, knocked him straight to the ground, which is sensible play from his point of view. Don't let him get that ball out of his feet and skip past that first challenge. That's what they've all got to try and do. They'll have to do it kind of systematically. We've already seen Mason Mount get pulled up with a yellow card for a challenge on him, and others are going to have to try and do that as well.
Is that why Manchester United don't score enough goals? Because when they get chances like that, a golden chance like that, they don't finish it off?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, again, I don't think goal scoring is going to be the big issue for this team this season. I know they'd like more than they've got last year. I think they can do that. It's handling the opposition without the ball. That's, I think, the key to whether Erik ten Hag has a really successful season or not. And I've already seen too often in this first opening 30 minutes of the new season that when they lose the ball, they're not always tight, they're not always sure about really going after it to get it back. And I think in that balance, Steve, they've got to get that right. That's a tough... It's not easy to do, is it?
No, getting the balance right is always the most difficult, because, let's be brutally honest, of last season, they weren't great at both. You know, they didn't score enough, and they conceded far too many. For them to be 30 goals behind Newcastle is a fair reflection on where they need to get to very quickly.
And negative goal difference as well. Something else that didn't happen during your time.
I wouldn't know what that was, I have to tell you. I have done in management, I have to tell you, but certainly playing wise.
31 gone. You're listening to Talksport. Steve Bruce and Andy Townsend are here. And it's 0-0 between Manchester United and Fulham on opening night of the Premier League season. It's Premier League season where we'll bring you Friday night commentaries, Saturday lunchtime commentaries, 3 o'clock commentaries on a Saturday afternoon. We will bring you Monday night football as well as FA Cup, Carabao Cup, EFL Championship League 1 and 2, playoffs and European football. Here down the left-hand side, the ball collected by Dalot. Dalot trying to turn for Manchester United into an advanced position. He's right high up the pitch into the left corner of the field and then gets it back and swings it towards Fernandes. It's a little bit too high for his Portuguese colleague. Scoops over his head as it sides through the penalty area and bounces to safety as far as Fulham are concerned, away to our right-hand side. When we finish, we've got the sports bar open for business, the Weekender, with Majestic and Jermaine Pennant. 03717 2233 44 will be the number to call. But we're concentrating on Manchester United against Fulham with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, they've got a van.
What I would like to see United do more of, Sam, is when they get it wide and get it in the box. Everybody's coming to feet, everyone's looking for a little short 6, 8 yard, 10 yard pass, a little bit, nothing wrong, you know, at home. Getting it wide, getting someone taking people on, and just get it out your feet and fade it round, just whip it, wrap your foot round it, put it in between 6 yard box and penalty spot and ask someone to get on the end of it.
Here's Mount on the right-hand side. Back to Ahmad on the edge of the Fulham penalty area, right on the corner of it. Gives it back to Mount in that inside right channel. He points towards the left and then gives it back to Lisandro Martinez. Collected by Maguire, who gives it back to Martinez in a difficult position, but he gets out of it. Mazraoui then tries to thread the ball through the eye of a needle, gets a little bit lucky with a ricochet, finds Fernandes. He tries to poke it through to Rashford, but across comes Tete. And the ball bounces kindly back into the feet of Bernd Leno, away to our right. You talked about that variation in the way that they attack, Andy. Is that because there are too many players of a similar ilk on the attacking battalion for Manchester United?
I think that's one thing. Look, you've got Ahmad, who wants to come inside on his left foot. You've got Rashford on the other side, who wants to skip in on his right. But they should be good enough, these boys, to occasionally mix it up and change that emphasis and get to the byline a bit more. That's a bit more like it. Casemiro there, putting Calvin Bassey under pressure in that left central defensive left fullback position. Much better, and you see the reaction, what it does in the ground. It gets everybody up.
Just lifts the noise, the tempo, the energy inside the stadium. As Casemiro breaches the line, Fernandes hits it straight against Leno, who comes out, makes himself brilliantly big and stops a certain goal for Manchester United. Well, they've had a couple of shots on target now. Both of them have come from Bruno Fernandes, and arguably both of them, Steve Bruce, will be disappointed not to score.
Oh, it couldn't have fell for the better for him. It was a wonderful pass. I think it was Casemiro who made the pass, and that's an easier chance than the one beforehand. And if you're going to rely on anybody to score from that area, you'd think it would be 1-0 to Man U at the moment. Big opportunity which they've missed.
Yep. Just seeing a rerun of it right now on our monitors here. Brilliant
pass.
Stunning ball from Casemiro into the path of Bruno Fernandes. One-on-one, just beyond the penalty spot. Bernd Leno coming out, and he's just praying that, again, by making himself big, he can put something in the way of it. And he did exactly that. But Bruno knows that's got to go in. He should be knocking and tucking those sort of chances in.
Well, sometimes his body language gives away his thoughts, Bruno Fernandes, and he's down-faced and shaking his head as he looks to the ground, as he thinks about that opportunity that has come his way, the second opportunity that has come his way in this first half. 10 minutes to go before the break. Ball played out wide towards Mount, who looks to turn and reverse it straight back into Diallo, but it doesn't come off for him. It's played against Fulham body and out for another throw-in. And Manchester United just starting to eke further up the pitch now and put pressure on the Fulham goal.
I think it's fascinating to see Marco Silva on the air. He's encouraging his players to be higher up the pitch. They've just sat a little bit deep now at the moment and really accepted that Man U are going to have a bit of possession. And I can sense his frustration, because if they keep on going like it is, inevitably Man U will get a chance.
Maynard with a little trip down to the corner, the diminutive little man from Stockport who says he's 6 foot. I think he is 6 foot. He just tends to sort of stoop low with a low centre of gravity when he's dribbling with the ball, Kobbie Mainoo. In fact, we know he's 6 foot because he measured himself in the England camp in the summer to prove it to everybody. He did a lovely little flick down by the corner flag to win a corner off Anthony Robinson, which Amad Diallo is going to take in front of the scoreboard end, away to our right-hand side. The ball tight to the byline. He'll flick this in left-footed deep to the far post, looking for Casemiro, heads it down, and it bounces off the turf and then skims the roof of the net as it goes behind and away for a goal kick. That's 3 chances that Casemiro has had from set pieces in the opening 37 minutes.
Yeah, good chance that too. I mean, he's backpedaling towards the far post. It was a deep in-swinging corner from Amad. Casemiro just peels off at that back post, gets his head on it, should hit the target, but I think it would have been a difficult one to actually knock that one in the back of the net from that sort of delivery. But yeah, just sense this last 6-7 minutes that United just starting to get after things a little bit more and pressurising Fulham, forcing them into some mistakes, pinching the ball off them higher up the field.
Amad winning a loose ball inside his own half. He's back to goal. He had a really good pre-season tour, Amad Diallo. He only managed 5 league starts for United in his career to date. This is his 6th. This is his 50th English League appearance, most of those actually coming on loan at Sunderland, really. He was exciting in the Community Shield, electric flair and pace and trickery when he picks up the ball. The Manchester United fans do get excited. And he scored twice in pre-season against Rangers and Real Betis. And there was a sort of burgeoning sign of a relationship in a couple of those tour games with him and Mason Mount. We haven't seen evidence of that tonight, but we did see it in the Community Shield where the two of them combined and almost combined for the opening goal at Wembley when Amad got down the right-hand side and centred the ball into the middle of the park. But it remains Manchester United 0, Fulham 0. And for the latest odds, we can head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can get Manchester United to win the game at 7-10, Fulham 17-4. The draw is 12-5. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes 18+. BeGambleAware.org. This is Talksport. Here is Bruno Fernandes sending the ball into the left wing position now for Manchester United, and Diogo Dalot's gone up quickly. Instead of crossing, he cuts back because Rashford was deeper than he was. And then it goes to Mainoo. A flick over the top by Casemiro is dealt with by Diop, who heads it clear. Overhead kick by Pereira, gets it half clear, but Mainoo's got it back again. There was a foul there by Pereira. That's going to be a free kick. And then there's a bit of a contretemps between Lissandro Martinez and Pereira, who now has his hair tied back in a bun. And Manchester United, who wanted to take the free kick quickly, are not allowed to do so, and Rob Jones pulling it back.
There's a frustration, Andy, isn't it, when you've haven't got a natural left-footed player. When you get down the left-hand side, you've got what it's like to just whip it in first time. They check back on the right foot and then they go back again, which is always a problem. Always a problem when you haven't got a natural left-footed player.
Just allows Fulham to recover, doesn't it, and get back behind the ball.
Manchester United having the England problem of not having a left-footer on that side. Luke Shaw is absent, as he was for England for much of the European Championships before he came back towards the end of the quarter-final. He's still not available. Here's Mount down the right side, playing against Emil Smith-Rowe and winning a corner on this near side for Manchester United right with 5 minutes to go before the break. Interestingly, though, Harry Amass, who played well on the US tour, didn't get a position on the bench against Manchester City last week and hasn't got one tonight. He's still a kid, only 17 years of age, but he played well. Here is Fernandes from the short delivery by Amad, drifting the ball into the box. It's headed half clear, it bounces twice inside the box, and Maguire tries to keep it alive, and there was a dangled foot by Emil Smith-Rowe, but a yellow card is going to be given to Harry Maguire for simulation on the edge of the box, with Rob Jones accusing him for diving and going over too easily and looking to win a penalty. Andy Townsend.
Yeah, you might have been right, although the direction of the ball suggests Harry Maguire definitely got there first. It's how much contact Emil Smith-Rowe actually made with him. From this angle here, we're just seeing again another run of that on our monitors. Rob Jones was in a good position, immediately wasn't having it. No, he doesn't. He actually shapes to almost clear it. Smith-Rowe and pulls his foot back. and Harry Maguire tumbles to the floor, and it's a great decision. That absolutely spot on.
Yeah, I think when Harry looks back at that one, you think, what on earth am I doing? A big centre off, try to buy a penalty kick, and the referee's got it spot on.
Yellow card given for Harry Maguire. Marco Silva has just calmed down a little bit for the first time in this first half. 41 minutes gone. He's still pacing inside that technical area, wearing a slate grey jumper with a white t-shirt underneath. His black slacks.
Yeah, his team need to get on the ball a bit more, Sam.
They've just come off the pace a little bit.
They have. Smith Rowe's kind of not really got involved. Everyone really now, it's kind of almost like they're just desperate to get to half-time and have a rethink and a regroup.
Certainly in the last 15 minutes they've dropped really deeper. They were up against Man U, and here we are.
With Fernandes on the ball in the left wing position, looks up, finds Mount running through the centre. Bassey just about gets the job done. Rashford brings it down, can't control it. Casemiro on the volley again.
It's a chance.
Control it. Over the bar it goes, sailing into that scoreboard end, that packed scoreboard end. In between the disabled section in the first 3 or 4 rows there. And on the left-hand side of what is a packed, huge raking stand. But Casemiro has sent 1 or 2 into them.
That's a chance that for him. You'd expect him to at least hit the target.
That's 3 headers, and I think 2 volleys he's had from the edge of the box.
Exactly. He's had their best situations, been involved in them.
Ball sent long for Adama Traore to chase. Adama comes across, plays it against him, wins the goal kick, did well, dealt with him well. And Traore appealing for more than what he was hoping for. Marco Silva again, still rollicking everybody. And a little bit of frustration for the Fulham manager as we approach half-time. He was pretty confident that pre-season had gone well, but there was a little bit of a note of caution in his voice when he spoke yesterday, Marco Silva. He, like Erik ten Hag, warned that his side weren't 100%, but I think he was sort of suggesting that there were gaps to fill in the squad that needed to be filled in the next couple of weeks. One of them might well be in the centre of defence. They might well need another defensive midfield player as well. Mainu tussling over on the far side with Adama Traore. That goes in the young England man's favour, and it's a free kick about 20 yards outside the goal mouth, away to our left-hand side, and about a step in from the touchline. Steve Bruce.
I think he's frustrated because I think he wants his team to be braver and go higher up the pitch against Manchester, because they did that to start with and had really good possession. If they're just going to continually now go deep, then they're going to cause themselves a few problems, because ultimately Man U will find a pass or a chance and ultimately take one.
And the other thing is, Andy Townsend, they're not really set up to be like that, because they've got more offensive players on the pitch than they have got defensive players.
Correct, that's absolutely right. The players that they've got out there this evening all want to get on the front foot and go forward rather than tracking back and tracking runners and filling gaps and filling holes. That's not really what a lot of them are designed to do.
Well, Fulham started the game well, but Manchester United has certainly taken control of it. 59% ball possession for them. 3-2 now in Manchester United's favour in goal attempts. And the best save of the night has come from Andre Onana, who went flinging to his left-hand side to stop Kenny Tete from scoring his first goal of the season on his 100th appearance for Fulham. Here is Fernandes down the left, poking it into the path of Diogo Dalot. Tries to take it towards the byline, then comes back again. And Fernandes, Mainu, trying to hold off the challenge of Pereira. They're forced back here, Manchester United, by Fulham, who stood firm. Still awaiting our first goal of the season with just 30 seconds of the first half remaining. Ball sent forward, up towards Mainu. A little deflection off the England man. It's going to dribble behind and go out for a goal kick. And when you sum up the first half, what would you be saying if you were Erik ten Hag in the dressing room, Andy Townsend?
I think the first 15-20 minutes was quite tame, really. Didn't really see much. The last 15 minutes, United have been better. But again, I think that the team need to be more aggressive the way that they pressurise Fulham. When they do that and they turn the ball over 30-40 yards from goal, you feel like one clever little pass and all of a sudden they can make the difference. If they stand off the game and they watch and allow Fulham to play as they did in the first 20 minutes, then they could find themselves in a little bit of trouble.
We're not going to get as much added time this season as we did last. They've slightly rejigged the calculations as to how they put it together now. Just a 1 minute added at the end of this first 45. Ball clipped forward by Fulham. Deep in his own half, Bassi sends it long. It's headed away by Mazraoui, who'll be happy with his first 45 minutes in a Manchester United shirt. Ahmed gets it back to Martinez, who plays a reverse ball to Onana, which was a little dicey, but Onana then decided just to send it long, and it goes out of play and away for a throw-in about 7 yards inside Manchester United territory. Here is Diop forward to Smith Rowe, the last few seconds of the first half. I think the first half that Manchester United certainly grew into, one where they created good opportunities but didn't take them, which may well have been a habit that they got into last season and continued in pre-season. Last season did see a record number of goals. This season is only 45 minutes old, but we are still awaiting our first. Casemiro had several opportunities. Bruno Fernandes, 2 golden ones. But Fulham also bared their teeth early in the first half. Kenny Tete pulling Andre Onana into action with a brilliant save in the first 15 minutes of the game. But at the break, it is Manchester United 0, Fulham 0.
Well, it's been eventful, it's been lively, there's been chances as the players make their way to the corner, to the tunnel, away to our left here at Old Trafford. You're listening to Game Day Kickoff on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car, whatever the mission. Home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day. So what did happen in that first half, other than Casemiro having a half where he played headers and volleys by himself? Actually, the first 20 minutes or so, Andy Townsend, was all about Fulham. The first 20 minutes, Manchester United had no efforts. Fulham had 3, 1 on target. Didn't take advantage of that, didn't take the lead when they possibly had the chance to, and Manchester United to come back into it. But why are Man United so slow to start?
Well, again, look, Aid, I think that certainly the first 5 minutes there was the intent to serve it forward and to try and turn Fulham around a little bit, as you would expect, right at the start of a new season, first game at home. But again, I just see some of those flaws. I spoke to Steve about midway through that half that you just start to see when some of those passes break down, they don't switch on as quickly as you'd like. They don't. The first thought isn't immediately as a team we're going to go and pinch that ball back. The first thought more often than not is to try and funnel back, and that allows teams to find their way out, to play their way out. And good players with time in this league are going to enjoy it. It shouldn't be an enjoyable night for Fulham here at Old Trafford, first game of the season. Every time someone receives the ball in the middle of that park, there should be someone snapping at their heels, desperate to get it back. That wasn't the case in that first 20 minutes. It was too comfortable, and Fulham looked like they could pick their passes and cause them a problem or two.
Steve Bruce, I want to ask you about that early chance. It involved some defending from Mazraoui on his debut for Manchester United. It was Traore bursting down the right-hand side. He put the ball into the middle. Iwobi's coming onto it. Mazraoui at right back sees the danger, comes right across and goes to ground in the box. Now, the danger is cleared, but I want to know, is that good defending or is that risky defending?
I think he had to go to ground. He was a little bit desperate. Traore was on one of his great runs, and it was wonderful defending. I think he can be really, really pleased with his debut. He looks very, very assured. He's very accomplished on the ball. He never gave the ball away all afternoon. Defensively, he's done his job well enough. The frustration for Man U, for me, is the build-up is just slow at times. It's laboured in possession. You know, everybody wants possession of the ball. Of course it is. But when they get to the last third, too often, especially down the left-hand side, they unfortunately check back out and come the other way, because there's nobody with a natural left foot there to have it. Look, they've created the best 2 opportunities. Fernandes has had the best 2 opportunities for me in the match. He'd be disappointed that he hasn't took one of those, because in this United team, he is the one who he would think is the best goal scorer, or the biggest threat they've got in terms of scoring a goal.
Certainly in the 11. Actually, the only time that they really disrupted Fulham was through quick passing. You're right, it's all been slow build. Apart from that one that left Bruno Fernandes clean through, it was Mount first time to Casemiro, brilliant ball first time. They popped it about, they were quick with it, they disrupted and unsettled Fulham, who didn't know where to look, didn't know where to turn.
Bit of one-touch, clever one-touch pass, and it was a 12-15 yard pass from Casemiro, and because he played it first time, that's the one that can catch defenders sometimes on their heels. Bruno running in, he should have scored, but again, it's very early on in the season. Yes, we know that They've got personnel issues, United, at the top of the field. I've been a little disappointed at the quality of the final ball into the box, the pass selection when they get towards that last third. I'd just like to see him be a little bit more spontaneous and put things into areas rather than trying to be quite so perfect and so deliberate.
You know that breakdancing in the Olympics? I thought Marco Silva was doing some of that on the top.
His frustration, was that his team in the first 20 minutes played very, very well. He'd have been delighted with the start he's had. They got after Man U, they pressurised them, turned the ball over, and then they were comfortable in possession. The last 25 minutes, you could see his frustration here, that they retreated a little bit rather than stay high, be a little bit more brave, like they were to start with. And you could see that his frustration was there for all of us to see up here. How great it is to see somebody else doing it. You think at times, was I like that? I mean,
has he calmed down now in the dressing room, or is he even worse?
Well, I think he's still raging. I think he's going to have a little pop there to just be a little bit braver, go after them the way they did, and see if they can create a mistake, because they played very well in the first 25 minutes.
Title winner Steve Bruce is with us on commentary alongside former Ireland World Cup captain Andy Townsend here at Old Trafford, where it is Manchester United 0, Fulham 0. Let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Get money back as a free bet up to £10 if one leg of your Football 5 Plus acca lets you down. Pre-match straight line accas only. Odds are 3-1 or greater. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
So it's goalless at half-time, and for the latest odds, head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can get United's 13-8 on. The draw's 11-5. Fulham are 11-2. It's 0-0. Next goal scorer odds: Fernandes 5-1. He's missed a couple already. Rashford 11-2. Rodrigo Muniz 8-1. And there's a special here as well. United to win 2-0 or 2-1 was 5-2, and that's now 3-1. That's the latest odds with Ladbrokes 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Supercharge your odds with our Odds Boost button. Selected markets applies to first £50 of stake. Terms apply. 18 plus. GambleAware.org.
Well, over on Talksport 2 right now, it's half-time. It's Coventry 2, Oxford 1 in the Championship, and here is how the first half sounded.
Away, but Van White picks it up. Now on the edge of the penalty area, Sakamoto with a good disguised ball in. There's the header from Haji Wright. 1-0 Coventry. What a start to their home campaign. It might break towards the edge of the penalty area. It does. Slot it in to the bottom left-hand corner. Kieran Brown making it 1-1. Beat two, couldn't beat a third. It might break Sakamoto. Great dummy, Van White. 2-1 Coventry. It's a thing of beauty. They've been magnificent to what's going forward tonight.
Yeah, Coventry 2, Oxford 1, second half live over on Talksport 2, and the best way to listen to it. Download the Talksport app and you won't miss anything. We've got commentaries all season on Talksport and Talksport 2, and you can swipe easily between the two stations. The Talksport app is free and it's easy to use, and you'll be able to get all sorts on there as well. Times Radio, Virgin Radio stations as well, all on the Talksport app, and loads of podcasts on there as well. Here on Talksport, it's currently goalless between Man United and Fulham. It has been an exciting game. Who will score the first goal of the Premier League season's second half? Coming next on Talksport.
Game night on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a treehouse in the garden.
I'm living my perfect childhood.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Football is back and it's game on. Get the ultimate football coverage with the Sun's free pull-out goals. With the best writers pitchside for in-depth match reports, it's all about goals. And with unrivaled news from the Premier League to League Two, it has to be goals. Stay up to date on all the latest football action. Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday, only in the Sun.
At Betfair, we believe that to play different, you need the right tools. The boots, the world-class tactics, the science-backed nutrition. The pros have their tools, and with Betfair, so do you. Our safer gambling tools work just like the right pair of boots, designed to keep you on top of your game. Open the Betfair app to equip yourself so you can bet at your best. Betfair. Play different.
18 plus, begambleaware.org. Screwfix Sprint delivers from store to door in 60 minutes or less. So, whatever the job, you can do it with less faffing and more fixing. Less driving, more drilling. So don't break your stride. Screwfix Sprint. Order now exclusively on a Screwfix app. £5 delivery charge, no minimum spend. Don't stop. Sprint. Conditions and geographical restrictions apply. Selected products.
Settle down for a night of crime. Witness a heist. Follow a car chase. Eat too much popcorn. Meet a mafia boss. Join in on a bank robbery. Think about making a cup of tea. Be too comfortable to get up. For less.
Selected IKEA sofas are now at a new lower price, along with thousands of other products. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
It's McDonald's 50th birthday. So, to get you in the party mood, we're turning our ad breaks into dance breaks. Okay, start with your hands up, arms bent, elbows facing the floor and palms to the ceiling. Then you're going to simply lift your hands up and down, up and down, up and down. Add some hips if you want, or a nod of the head. Get funky with it. And there you have it. You're raising the roof. McDonald's 50th birthday. You're all invited.
You don't just check in to a village hotel. You work out. You jump in. You play on. You tuck in. And drink up. Village Hotels. 33 locations with everything under one roof. A huge gym with pool and great membership opportunities. And a buzzing pub and grill with delicious food, ice-cold beers and live sport. Check out villagehotels.com and work out, stay, meet and play.
Game night on Talksport with Sky Sports. Stream more Sky Sports football than ever before. Available with no contract on now. Like Manchester United versus Fulham live tonight. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Full-on Friday night football.
On DAB, online and on your smart speaker.
This is Game Night on Talksport.
And there were a lot of lows last season, and despite it being their worst ever Premier League campaign, Ten Hag has been given a second chance to tailor his team into Manchester United, Eric's version.
Here at the other end, the ball being brought away by Kenny Tete, who comes forward and then shoots from distance towards the post. It's Stefan Onana has to spring up with his left hand and push the ball over the top of the crossbar. Oh, given away by Leno, edge of the area. Now Fernandes outside of the boot, hits it straight at the goalkeeper who makes the save and redeems himself. Casemiro reaches the line. Fernandes hits it straight against Leno, who comes out, makes himself brilliantly big and stops a certain goal for Manchester United. At the break, it is Manchester United 0, Fulham 0.
Yeah, goalless. I mentioned Talksport 2 before. They're live sport. Sensational this weekend. Tomorrow from midday, West Brom against Leeds in the Championship. That's followed by Newcastle Southampton in the Premier League. Commentary from 3. Then back-to-back Magic Weekend Super League games at Elland Road. Wigan Saints and then Warrington Leeds. So you'll have Leeds at lunchtime, Leeds in the evening. Different sports, but also live from Leeds. Late into the night, it's live PGA Tour Golf. And Sunday, there's more cracking live sport on Talksport 2. Live EFL games. Sunderland, Sheffield Wednesday from 11:45. The build-up starts. Then Bolton, Wrexham from League One, both expected to challenge at the top of the table. And talking of top of the table, Hull KR face Catalans at Magic Weekend from 5 p.m. Talksport 2, followed by Huddersfield against Castleford. The climax to the golf for the rest of the evening. So Talksport 2, well worth checking out for all of your live sport. And of course, we've got the usuals on Talksport. The brilliant Sunday session with Sam is on Sunday afternoon, following all of the football. They'll be live at Stamford Bridge for that. And by the way, on the Super League, Saints, St Helens, Joe Batchelor, and Leeds, Jared O'Connor, both been on Talksport previewing Magic Weekend this week. I thought Joe Batchelor did particularly well in his interview on Breakfast the other day. Before the teams come out for the second half, Steve Bruce, former Manchester United title winner, I want to ask you about Mason Mount. He was involved in that lovely move where they pinged passes, but he hasn't really done a huge amount. Would you be tempted to take him off, put Rashford central? Garnacho's waiting, chomping at the bit.
I wouldn't necessarily be taking off Mason Mount, but I understand what you're saying. I think Garnacho will come into the equation somewhere along the line. He has to. There's a lot of frustration from a lot of United fans who I bumped into just on the way up here that he wasn't starting today, you know. But obviously, I think he'll have a big part to play. He's been very, very good in the last game he played. Coming off the bench, he could be just the missing thing that they're lacking at the minute. That little bit, he can drop his shoulder and go past somebody. And let's see if he gets introduced straight away.
How long, Steve, do you wait? It's tight, I know, and you're probably always reluctant to make that change. How long do you wait, Ten Hag, before he does something?
Would you wait 10, 15 minutes, Andy, and give him maybe half an hour, 35 minutes? We don't know if he's 100%. He might not be 100%, Andy. That's why maybe he's not started the game. But certainly you would like to see him have a big chunk of the game to weave his magic a little bit.
He might aid. He might be the sort of player to come on tonight. It'll lift everybody, and he just might be the sort of player to just inject a little more zip in those wide areas and deliver a few more balls into that box. You're not looking to pick anybody out tonight. They haven't got that Rasmus Højlund type character in the box waiting for it. Just get it in there and get people on the end of it.
The interim England head coach Lee Carsley has just been over to say hello to a few people. The teams in the meantime are out on the pitch ready for the second half. The opening Premier League game of the season needs the Premier League's first goal of the season. Manchester United 0, Fulham 0. The second half live and exclusive and only here on Talksport with former Premier League captains Steve Bruce and Andy Townsend, and your commentator Sam Matterface.
Angelina Kelly and Sam Ellard are currently on the Talksport YouTube channel doing a watch along from the live football, keeping an eye on proceedings and taking comments as we go along, connecting with the supporters. That's on the Talksport YouTube channel right now. And from 10 o'clock tonight, when we finish the Sports Bar, we'll take your calls 03717 223344. I wonder if Manchester United fans will be a little bit frustrated that they haven't seen Alejandro Garnacho emerge at half-time. But they are on the front foot again in red shirts with thick white trim, attacking the goal away to our left. White shorts and black socks, and Maguire winning a challenge on halfway, trying to send the ball out towards Ahmad. The ball eventually goes out of play, and it's out for a Fulham throw just short of halfway. So Manchester United, who got a soften underway at the start of the second half, attacking the goal towards our left, the Stretford end, Anana in goal. Dalot, Maguire, who's been booked, Martinez and Mazraoui. Mazraoui playing at the right side of the fence and Dalot on the left. Casemiro and Mainu in the middle of the park. Casemiro having several chances in that first 45 minutes. Amad Diallo, Mount, who's been booked, Fernandes, who had 2 golden opportunities, and Rashford form the attack. Fulham in white shirts, black shorts, attacking the goal away to our right-hand side. Just stepped off the gas towards the end of the first half after a bright start. They've got Leno, who is their captain, in goal. Although I did see Steve Bender warming up quite vociferously at half-time. Let's see what happens there. And the back four is Tete, Diop, Bassi has been booked, and Robinson. Lukic, Pereira and Smith-Rowe in midfield, and Smith-Rowe is on the ball now, weaving his way towards the edge of the penalty area, skipping past Casemiro. The ball spills out to the left. Iwobi tries to recycle it. Mazraoui will block, and it goes out for a corner on the far side. The other three in that team, Traore on the right, Iwobi on the left, and Muniz through the centre. Andy Townsend.
Yeah, good chance there, potentially for Emile Smith-Rowe. For the first time maybe tonight, got the ball on the half turn, about 20-25 yards out. Just trying to engineer it onto his right foot to get the shot away. In the end, he was blocked, but Fulham corner.
Fulham corner, and there hasn't been too many of those over the course of the games so far. It is the second corner kick of the evening for Fulham Football Club. Place the ball down in the quadrant, and then Pereira will deliver it into the near post, and Iwobi gets up there and glances the ball goalwards, but he just sort of caught it on the side of his head and the top of his shoulder, and it ricochets behind and out for a goal kick, Steve Bruce.
Yeah, you'll be a bit disappointed with that. Again, there's a free header in there. That's twice they've been in corners, I think they've had, and they've got the head to it. He'll be disappointed that he hasn't got a better connection with that. It was a big chance.
There was a bit of switching off going on at that near post, wasn't it?
I think it was Casemiro was just caught napping a bit.
All of a sudden, though, you can see Fulham higher up the pitch like they did in the start of the first half. They've already gone 15-20 yards up higher up the pitch and started pressing Man U a little bit higher.
Well,
and it's paid off for them a little bit already.
Absolutely. Last year's win over Manchester United here was only the second win at Old Trafford for Fulham in 61 years. It was also their first away win in 6 months at the time. And there have been some epic battles in recent times between these two. United needed a late winner at the Cottage last season. There was the famous FA Cup quarter-final when Fulham imploded here, and then the last-minute winner in February for Fulham. But Fulham weren't the only ones to get positive results here last season, and they may be encouraged by that as they bring the ball down through Iwobi, looking for Robinson to overlap on the left-hand side, away by Onana, straight down the middle of the pitch. Mount loses the ball, and he had a lot to do with it in the first place, and then Emil Smith-Rowe turns and runs at the United defence. A deflection of Casemiro, who gets across the former Arsenal man, and it bounces behind and away for another Fulham corner, Andy Townsend.
Yeah, good spell for the visitors. They've started second half exactly the same fashion as they began the game, on the front foot, pinching balls off United in the middle of the park and immediately looking to split those defenders with forward passes.
4 minutes gone at the start of the second half. It's Manchester United 0, Fulham 0. And the corner to come in from the far side as we look at it. And Andreas Pereira is going to take it again in towards the near post. Kete is up there and it's away by Dalot, who's inside the 6-yard box as the ball dropped into a dangerous area. And he manages to get it clear, and then he comes across and gets it clear for a second time under pressure from Traore, who gives away a free kick. And it's a Manchester United ball. The Fulham fans, who number about 1,700, have travelled up from London today, which I understand was not a very easy thing to do.
I think Andy spent a few hours on that M6 today. It wasn't great, was it?
Just
Andy?
a 4.5.
You're already coming from the Cotswolds, aren't you?
I was thinking to myself, it's so good to be back. Do you know what I mean? Up that M6, getting wound up, shouting at everybody that goes past me. When I come out the fast lane, I go in the middle lane. That seizes up. Every way I went, it was no good.
You'll be pleased to know that it took me, I think, about 12 and a half minutes to get here today.
Yeah.
Ball cleared by Maguire up to the halfway line, taken down by Rashford. Nunez is being bullied by Dalot, and Dalot comes away with it. Lovely little bit of skill from Manu, but the pass at the end of the move didn't come off, and then Rodrigo Nunez tries a little back flick to allow Tete to get forward in the right wing position, but Manchester United shut that lane, and it goes all the way back to Onana in the goal away to our right. Yeah, Burnley held Manchester United here last season. They conceded twice against Forest and Sheffield United. Those are the creases that Erik ten Hag has got to try and iron out over the course of this early part of the season. They are a team that you get the feeling, because of the narrative around them and the scrutiny that comes with being the Manchester United boss, need a good start to the season, Steve.
Well, every manager needs a good start to the season, none more so if you're the manager of Manchester United, of course. I mean, everybody wants a good start, and it's been a difficult start for them up to now, especially in this second half in particular, because Fulham, as we said at half-time, Fulham have gone higher up the pitch against them. It's the first little bit of possession they've had, and they're starting all over again, but they've given it all away there badly.
Martinez with a terrible pass forward, cut out by Pereira, and he's sent Adama Traore wide out towards this right-hand side. He's cut in, running towards the middle of the pitch. Rashford cut across his body. He's going to give away a free kick in a dangerous zone here on this near side. And now Rob Jones, who was not afraid to dish out a yellow card in the first half, wants a word with Marcus Rashford. He may well escape a booking. Let's just see what happens here. There's certainly going to be a free kick about 10 yards outside the area on the diagonal right side.
Do you know, Pereira gave Adama Traore a really poor ball there. Again, sloppy United pass midway in Fulham's own half. It was intercepted. They're looking to release Traore. If Pereira's ball was a better one, they wouldn't have been able to recover. As it was, Rashford got back, impeded him. Free kick for Andreas Pereira. About 28 yards out, just slightly on the angle, so he'll be clipping this one for those runners in the box.
And those runners include Diop, Iwobi, Rodrigo Nunez, Calvin Bassey up from the back as well. Iwobi just behind Rodrigo Nunez. Andreas Pereira standing over it. Rashford being told to get 10 yards away from the ball. And Traore sets it back to Pereira, whose deep ball to the far post is claimed by Onana, who came out very quickly, and then he wanted to release it quickly and then just hesitated slightly.
A little bit like a quarterback caught in the pocket in two minds. He went to try and bowl that ball out towards Amad Diallo. It didn't work, but they have worked into Rashford, who sped away down the left wing, then cutting on his right foot, got into the box, and across comes Mason Mount, and it's stopped by Leno. Just got caught under Mason Mount's feet as the ball was squared into him by a dynamic Marcus Rashford run. He went down the left-hand side, got a little bit of a fortunate ricochet. It came into the path of Mason Mount, and he was so close to getting his second goal in Manchester United colours.
Great pass from Fernandes, wasn't it, to release Rashford down the left-hand side. Blistering place from Rashford.
Corner for Manchester United, taken short by Fernandes to Amad. Back to Fernandes, into the near post, swished away by Anthony Robinson, and out for a second successive corner, Andy Townsend.
Yeah, that's better from them. This time United's turn to just apply a little bit of pressure and a bit of heat. Fulham zoning across that 6-yard box, all the big men, Maguire towards the back post.
Here is the corner, Fernandes to take it. It's a deep one towards that far post. It's punched away by Leno confidently. Mount forward once again, but it's going to go straight out of play and away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. 0-0 the score, 54 minutes on the clock. That was a really strong punch by Bernd Leno to clear his lines for Fulham. Manchester United did have such a poor end to the season. It's vital really to get off to a winning start tonight. Erik ten Hag mentioned as much in his press conference yesterday. 4 wins in their final 13 league matches saw them plummet down to 8th. Yes, they had that high of the FA Cup victory, which sort of papered over the cracks. Mount getting the wrong side of the defender, gets past Lukic, feeds Fernandes, right-footed shot is blocked by Diop, and the referee did play the advantage there after Mount had pinched the ball initially, and he looked as if he was fouled. Here is Maguire, stepping out of defence, feeding the ball down to Amad Diallo, right side into the box, but it's blocked by Calvin Bassey. There wasn't enough presence inside that penalty area from Manchester United, but they have won a corner.
Yeah, Fulham, the architects of their own downfall there. Twice in quick succession. First, Emil Smith-Rowe giving the ball away 30-40 yards from his own goal, and then Anthony Robinson losing possession and just inviting United on, and eventually they find a way and force this corner.
10 minutes gone, second half. Manchester United with another opportunity. Can Casemiro get on the end of it and actually hit the target this time around? 55 gone, into the near post. Not a great delivery this time by Amad Diallo, and it's away by Iwobi rather easily. Just stoops and nods the ball clear. Fernandes switches it back beautifully to Rashford on this near side, who takes it out of the sky, then tries to turn away from Tete. Casemiro around the corner. Dallo back to Casemiro, into the penalty area, flicks it to Mount, sets it back to Kobbie Mainoo. He strikes, it's narrowly wide of the outside of the right hand upright. Massive chance, good football from Manchester United. It started with a Hollywood ball from Fernandes and almost ended with a blockbuster finish.
Wow, what a goal that would have been. What a wonderful pass again with Fernandes with his wrong foot, his left foot raked to 50-yard passing. Rashford's touch, little bit round the corner from Casemiro. Wonderful football, and unfortunately Manu's missed the target.
Good chance that for Kobbie Mainoo, because it was rolled back perfectly for him. A couple of 3 yards outside the box, coming onto it on that right foot, and just couldn't hit the target.
He didn't hit it well enough either, Andy, no, did he? Scuffed it a bit, didn't he?
Did scuff it a bit.
Robinson pinches the ball off Amad Diallo, overrun it sort of, and then hesitation from Maguire allows him to progress. He clips the ball into the box from the left side of the area. It goes through the middle of the box and out the other side, where Adama Traore will retrieve it, try to get to the byline, produce a cross deep to the far post, and Mazraoui just sort of glanced at the header, didn't contact it, and then Robinson gets the chance to recycle it again. And that's poor. Manchester United bring it down through Casemiro. Amad will clear, and he gives it back to Fulham once again. A lack of composure from both sides as we reach the 57th minute of the game. Live on Talksport, where it's still Manchester United 0, Fulham 0 on Talksport with Sky Sports. Don't forget you can stream more Sky Sports football than ever before. Available now with no contract on Now, like Manchester United versus Fulham live right now with Now Sports. This is Talksport.
We're looking for a bit of quality, aren't we, from either team in the final third. Just that decision, the weight of pass, the selection of pass, both teams suffering and struggling a little with that at the top of the field for different reasons.
Is that because it's the early part of the season? Maybe, there's a little bit of work still to be done?
Yes, I think so. I think it is. But if I was being critical, again, I just think people are trying to pick one out in amongst 3 or 4 defenders instead of just sometimes just looking for an area to put the ball in. and then you're hoping your strikers or your forward midfield players get that feel to get in the box and look to get on the end of something that arrives. How many Premier League goals do we see like that, Steve, where a run gets on the end of a ball rather than picking someone out?
Mark Harris gets an equaliser for Oxford United over on Talksport 2. It's 2-2 again.
And it looks as if we're going to make our first substitution, Manchester United, or today. Is it going to be a double one, or will the Dutch striker come on?
I think there's going to be at least two that come on here. Garnacho and Xerxes look as if they're going to get changed in the next few minutes and end up trying to turn the tide here. Manchester United have the ball on the near side with Rashford. Forward towards Mainu. Back out to the left and Rashford taking on Tete, trying to get on the outside. Tete gets back at him, swipes the ball behind, and it's away for, I think, a goal kick away to our left-hand side. He did really well there, Kenny Tete. He just waited and then played it against Rashford.
He's quick. Kenny Tete is quick, and he's a very game defender. You want to take him on shoulder to shoulder, you're going to have to do something quite useful. Marcus Rashford there just run out of room, but Tete recovered really well. Not only made the interception, but hit it off Rashford for a goal kick.
Yeah, he's a down-to-earth fella as well, and he was once spotted going home on a Lime bike after a derby against Chelsea. You know those bikes you can get, the little electric ones that you go through London on? No sports car or anything like that. It was all rent-a-bike.
Sounds good.
Fully charged.
Well, we'll have to try it.
Oh, yeah, we can get you on one of those if you want.
Not a pretty sight, I would have to say.
Free kick given.
The game's opened up though in the last 5-6 minutes. It's gone end to end.
Yep.
It's it certainly is.
Garnacho on for Diallo, Xerxes on for Mason Mount. They're the two changes that are incoming. And Joshua Xerxes, £36.6 million from Bologna. Describes his best position as a 9.5. He had a great season with Bologna, had a whirlwind trip to the Euros after being a late call-up, but at the back end of the summer he joined Manchester United, and now he comes onto the pitch for the first time, and that's the Raw. Wearing the number 11 shirt made famous by Ryan Giggs and others. He's not a winger, that is for sure. He is a player who likes to pick the ball up, hold it, bring others into play. One of his main features last season was in wanting the ball, his desire to drop deeper, attempting to link up the play. He averaged 49.5 touches per 90 minutes in Serie A. No other recognised centre-forward ranked higher in that division. And that compares quite favourably with Højlund, actually, whose 28 touches in 90 minutes in the Premier League season was quite low. So getting him into the game is going to be important.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can hear the noise levels. Those changes have just enthused everybody inside Old Trafford. We'll see how quickly Xerxes can get involved, and Garnacho, can he supply him? Tell you what, the roof will come off if those two get involved in a United goal.
Hasn't done much trading, Joshua Xerxes, only into his third week of preparation after coming back from the European Championships. He had a little injury at Bologna at the end of last season. Garnacho actually only played once in the Copa America for Argentina. He was part of the squad, but had very limited minutes in the United States in the summer. Here is Andreas Pereira out towards the right-hand side. Garnacho, of course, scored the goal at the Community Shield just 6 days ago. Tete with a delivery towards the far post. Masri read it well. Ball drops inside the box, and Rodrigo Muniz with an overhead kick which takes a deflection, and Onana, having to backpedal, saw it dropping under the crossbar, and he had to spoon it over the top and out for a corner. It was an acrobatic effort from Rodrigo Muniz, and he almost got very fortunate indeed.
Yeah, he did really well there, because again, that ball's dropping out the sky. He took it on his chest and then went for the overhead kick, the scissor kick. Made decent contact, hit the red shirt on the way out for a Fulham corner on that far side, but good save that from Onana.
Had to be a little bit careful there, Onana, because it came off the shoulder of Mainu and spooned into the air and almost dropped behind him. Here is Pereira into the near post. He travels a long way and it's stopped at that near post eventually by a kneeling Casemiro, who blocked the little flick which was attempting to steer it in at the Manchester United near post. It's out for another corner to Fulham. We're putting a bit of pressure on here. 63 on the clock. 0-0 the score on Talksport on a Friday night. Football under the lights, football is back, Premier League football is back. We're awaiting the first goal. Pereira into the near post, looking for Bassi, away by Casemiro. Drops on the edge, Anthony Robertson tries to keep it alive. Smith Rowe prods it forward, away by Maguire. Fernandes wanted to turn and release it quickly, and then it cannons off Smith Rowe and went back towards Onana's goal, but it was never really going to cause him any trouble and goes behind and away for a goal kick. Here's a change. Smith Rowe's night is done. His debut for Fulham is over. He's going to be replaced by Tom Kearney, and the club captain replaces the marquee signing. What have you made of Emile Smith Rowe tonight? £34 million, a 5-year contract with an option of a further 12 months.
Well, we all know of the injury problems he's had, so that maybe that was always going to be on the cards, that he was going to play an hour. I wouldn't be surprised for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks that'll be that, and increase his intensity and just stay fit. If the kid stays fit, he's a player, we all know that. He's just had an awful run of injuries, and Tom Kearney now has come on to go and play in his place.
346 minutes of Premier League football last season for Emile Smith Rowe. He's managed 63 tonight. Held up by Garnacho brilliantly. Dalot, poor ball forward. Picking the ball up in the centre of the field inside Manchester United territory. Had options and he ended up finding a white shirt instead of a red one. But Menu has pinched it. It's gone away from Tete. But he's being chased by Adama Traore. He's got to hold him off here. But Traore's done brilliantly to get back and cause him an issue. But they've picked up the ricochet and Rashford is away down the left-hand side after combining with Xerxes. Ball to the far post, but there's no one there to finish it. And across the 6-yard box, the ball trickles. Rashford going down the left channel, getting the ball across the face of the goal. It moved across the edge of the 6-yard box, but there was no striker in sight, Andy Townsend.
Yeah, Garnacho there, take a chance. When you see Marcus Rashford on his left foot, you know nothing's going to be perfect. It's exactly what I've been talking about. When he's shaping up the cross, just get yourself in there. He stayed wide and he allowed Anthony Robinson to make first contact, and it was easily dealt with.
And that's an example, though, of what Xerxes does. He drops out of the penalty area to pick the ball up and link the play, and that means that somebody else has got to get into the box and try and get on the end of those crosses, which result from that.
Straight away, I know he's called himself a 9.5. Really, he's a 10, isn't he? He wants to just drop in that little hole and get on the ball.
Mazraoui over on the far side, back to Casemiro halfway. Lovely reverse ball into Fernandes, space to run into, right side of the box, gets to the edge of the D, shoots, it's blocked by Calvin Bassi, and then there's a mistake there by Lisandro Martinez, and it's 2-on-1 in Fulham's favour, and Pereira didn't play the ball in the right area. He's given it away straight to Maguire, and Manchester United with a massive let-off. Huge let-off. Now they turn the tide. Maybe they can turn the screw. They come forward with Garnacho. Flick forward by Fernandes. Not the greatest of balls. Tete will deal with it and clear it away, but only as far as Dalot. Getting a little bit ragged out there now. Fernandes takes on Lukic. Plays it square. Casemiro runs into Iwobi. Still trying to get hold of it. And then Mazraoui with a brilliant challenge. Casemiro forward into the box, stooping to head it away was Diop. It was aimed towards Xerxes, and the noise levels turn up. It's amazing what a little bit of ragged play can do.
Exactly. It's exactly what's happened. I mean, the ball's changing hands frequently now. Neither team able to really hang on to it. What a chance Andreas Pereira had. They were 2-on-1 Fulham there, and all he had to do was just roll that in for Alex Iwobi. And instead of that, his pass finds a red shirt when it was a very, very simple ball to play.
It was a waste from Andreas Pereira. They had a 2-on-1 situation. Maguire was isolated. He held his position well, Maguire, actually.
Yeah, he did.
Here is the corner kicking towards the near post. But Andreas Pereira will be kicking himself, a bit like Bruno Fernandes in the first half with the chances that he had.
Well, for all the players to be in that situation, for him to land on it, you'd expect him to make the pass. Unfortunately, he hasn't. Good defending from Harry, I have to say, but a wonderful opportunity's gone by.
Marco Silva frustrated.
I think, Sam, what the United changes will enable now is Bruno to become more of an influence by picking it up on the half turn, 30-odd yards from goal. I think that's when he comes alive. That's when he's very good. We know he's got a goal in him. He can shoot. He's prepared to shoot with either foot. Xerxes obviously will perhaps just give Diop and Calvin Bassi a little bit more to think about. Can Bruno be clever, find a little pocket, get on that half turn and make something happen?
68 minutes played. It's still 0-0 between Manchester United and Fulham here live on Talksport. On Talksport 2 right now, which you can get on our app. Commentary 2. Oxford United 2. Jim Proudfoot and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk hogging all the goals tonight so far. Sports Bar upcoming, 03717 722 3344. If you've got something to say about this match or any other football issue, then Majestic and Jermaine Pennant will take your call straight after the game. Here is Dallow, left side for Manchester United, picked out by Maguire. He's 5 yards in from the left touchline, runs square, sends across towards the far post, looks for Garnacho, it's flicked away by Anthony Robinson and put behind and away for another Manchester United corner. Good delivery.
Yeah, really good ball in that from Diogo Dallow. Had to come back in on the right foot, but whipped something towards that far post. It was a dangerous ball. Anthony Robinson sending that one out for a corner.
Manchester United knocking on the door. Can they make the breakthrough? It's Fernandes in towards the near post. Xerxes goes towards it. It's away, but Garnacho will bring it out of the sky, then turn and try a shot towards goal. And he was falling as he did so. And it's caught by Leno and will be cleared away. One of the big highlights of the night so far, and there haven't been too many in front of goal, but I think the performance of Noussair Mazraoui will encourage Erik ten Hag. He did say yesterday he was very different to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We talked about the difficulty it is to put him under pressure because he seems to always find a solution, but I think he started pretty brightly, Andy.
Oh yeah, no, he has. Again, the game very much in the back. This game now could well be decided by one pass that finds the target, one bit of quality.
Andreas Pereira, who missed the pass a moment ago, now tries to speed down the right-hand side. He's being trapped by Dallow, who's determined to not allow him to pass. He blocked the restart there after bringing him down, and Rob Jones has given a free kick tight to touched on this right-hand side. And there's going to be a yellow card here, I think, eventually, for Andreas Pereira for asking for a yellow card for Diogo Dallow.
Well, he kicked the ball against him, didn't he? And he's won the free kick and he's done his job. It was a rash challenge from Dallow. Unfortunately, maybe Pereira's just thinking about that pass he missed about 2 minutes ago.
He's still
frustrated the hell out of him. And unfortunately, he's just tried to win a silly yellow card, which he'll look back at that and think, what on earth am I doing there, you know? And rightly so, the referee's given me a yellow card.
Well, he has got a free kick on this near side, which he will deliver into the box. And again, there's a collection of white shirts inside that penalty area, so it's about 3 steps in from the right touchline. It's just a shade outside the box, 20 yards from goal. He sends it deep. It's over Calvin Bassey's head, who stretched for it, couldn't reach, and Mazraoui will now get it clear. He looks up, he's right tight to the touchline, went to hit it, threatened to hit it, didn't do so. They play it out through Maguire into Casemiro, and then across to Lisandro Martinez. And slowly but surely they look to get up the pitch. Dallow makes a run on the inside left channel. Martinez held on to it, and Dallow gassed himself out by doing so and was a little bit disappointed that the ball wasn't played to him. Fernandes spots the run of Rashford, who comes from in to out, then skips in towards the edge of the penalty area, but Tete is there to rescue the ball and rescue Fulham as well. And they slide their way through the middle of the park and out through the centre circle to the left edge of that. Traore finds Kearney. Kearney, a slender figure with fair hair, moves to the edge of the box. He was given too much room there, and so was Traore. Casemiro eventually comes out to shut him down. The ball ricochets into the sky, and then Maguire will clip it out of play over on the far side with no out ball in sight. And no call from the goalkeeper, who was still moaning about the fact that he was an option.
Yeah, he had more time there than you think, Harry Maguire. Just a little careless in just clipping that one out, handing the ball back to Fulham.
Erik ten Hag cutting a frustrated figure now on the touchline in his white rain jacket tonight, above his Manchester United blazer and tie. You're listening to Talk Sport. Kearney dispossessed by Mainu. Good robust challenge by Kobbie Mainu, and then a short ball to Casemiro which put him in trouble, and it was won back by Andreas Pereira. Traore takes over, skips past 2 challenges, gets the return from Pereira, edge of the box, right foot shot. It's a real cannon which is blocked by Dallow, and Onana will catch it. You're listening to Talksport. Manchester United 0, Fulham 0. The latest odds are available at ladbrokes.com, where right now you can get Manchester United to win the game at 5-4, Fulham 11-2. The draw is 11-10. It's all thanks to Ladbrokes. 18+. BeGambleAware.org. This is Talksport.
You're right what you say now, Andy. This could go either way, couldn't it?
It's in the balance.
It's in the balance.
Yeah.
I have to say Fulham have been on the front foot and trying to get after United, and it's made it a better spectacle in the second half, that's for sure.
Here's Fernandes looking to drift the ball forward. It's headed away by Sasa Lukic. Further cleared by Kearney. Drops for Pereira, just left of the centre circle. Looks for Traore, but it's a short ball. Well won by Mazraoui. And then it's a poor challenge by Kearney. And it's going to be a free kick to Manchester United. 5 yards in front of the centre circle, just a shade to the right of centre. And a yellow card for Tom Kearney, the substitute.
Really good challenge that from Mazraoui to pinch that off Iwobi, because Anthony Robinson had got on his bike. He was looking to really stretch and get in behind that United back line. Mazraoui really cleverly intercepts, and then Tom Kearney has to go to ground and gets a yellow card.
Both teams are guilty of just giving the ball away, Andy.
Oh yeah, all the time.
It's just been frustrating really to watch that both teams are giving the ball away so cheaply.
How frustrating is that when you're a manager on the sidelines and your team are doing it?
Yeah, well, there's a big frustration, I have to tell you, especially when it's a simple pass.
Here is the free kick, sent down the side of the box by Fernandes to Garnacho, runs into trouble and then loses out to Pereira. And here is the counter-attack from Fulham. He's fed Traore. On the outside of him is Kearney. He's fed Kearney. It's a bit behind him, but on the other side is Pereira. And Pereira's inside the box. A low ball in towards the near post, and it's put behind by Martinez, who got back and almost actually steered it into his own net, but got back inside the 6-yard box and just about sent it out for a corner and away to safety. But Manchester United, who were trying to get a foul at the other end when Garnacho felt that he was felled, ended up being counter-attacked upon, and the numbers were all in white, and maybe Fulham should have made more of it, Andy Townsend.
Yeah, I think Adama Traore makes the wrong selection. He goes to his right to Tom Kearney, and it just allows United to maybe recover and just have a little look.
Here's the corner into the near post. Casemiro takes charge, gets in front of his goalkeeper and heads the ball behind. Well, on opening night last season, Manchester United on Monday Night Football were very close to losing the game against Wolverhampton Wanderers and somehow won it. They have had some chances, Fulham, which Manchester United have had to ride their luck to avoid conceding from. Here is the corner to be taken over on the far side by Pereira, right-footed into the middle of the goal. It drops past Muniz, then past the left shoulder of Lukic, and goes out, I think, of a Manchester United player for another corner for Fulham, who are turning up the gas, Steve Bruce.
They're a threat onto these corner kicks. That's 2 or 3 now where they've either got their head onto it. They've got to defend well now here, Manchester. They need to go and win this from this corner kick, because they've conceded far too many in the second half.
Well, it's a seesawing game, and it might just keep you on the edge of your seat until the very end here. 15 minutes to go. United 0, Fulham 0, on a knife edge at Old Trafford. Pereira delivering the ball deeper this time towards Bassi. He turns and tries to fire the ball goalwards. Away by Dallo it goes. He'll drop for Kenny to head the ball into the air. Xerxes should get there, does. Looks for Garnacho, but Anthony Robinson anticipated that and burst into life in front of Garnacho over on the left side, about 10 yards inside United territory. Wins it for Fulham, and they're in possession again.
Tell you what, Sam, a couple of changes about to be made, and it's an indicator of what Marco Silva's thinking here. He fancies that they can go and get this done.
Yeah, he's going to bring on Raul Jimenez and Harry Wilson. Jimenez, who went 5 months without a goal at some stage last season, ended up in the end getting 7 goals at a couple of which were at the back end of last season. Jimenez is going to come on for Rodrigo Muniz, and Harry Wilson going to come on for Adama Traore, we understand. Here's Pereira. Traore, last impact on the game maybe, gets away from Martinez, then runs into Casemiro trouble. Tete, well, he felt he was fouled by Casemiro. The referee said he got the ball, and Martinez has swished it out towards the far side and Garnacho, but Robinson has defended him well.
Well played.
Got the ball off of Garnacho, and they've now started a counter-attack for Fulham. He sent it wide to Iwobi, then on to Kearney, inside the area, left side, tight towards the perimeter of the box, but he couldn't find the cross. But Iwobi then tricks his way past Garnacho. Rodrigo Muniz controls, tries to turn, looks to try and set it back. It's still loose inside the box, and Anna comes and claims. Maguire was involved in one hell of a fight with Muniz, but the ball is in Manchester United hands. Not for long it isn't, because immediately Onana wanted to dispatch upfield and looked for Alejandro Garnacho.
And Fernandes putting pressure on Lukic. And then Xerxes putting pressure on Robinson. The ball spills out on the far side. It's a Manchester United throw. There's a little bit of chaos about it now, Andy.
Yeah, there is indeed. Steve, would you take Traore off or not?
I'm not so sure I'd take him off.
No.
Not when the game's gone as open as it has, because how many times it fell to him, and he's just missed the foul. I would be delighted if I was the Man U fullback and seen him gone.
Diogo Dalot, just all his Christmases have come early, because Adama Traore's coming off. Harry Wilson will play off the right side. Raul Jimenez is also coming on for Muniz, but I just wonder if that's taken away a little bit of the chance for Fulham to really go and exploit United, as they are going to push. You'd expect United to really push for it.
It's a slight difference in terms of profile of football that Diogo Dalot will be up against now. The bustling frame, the broad shoulders and muscular physique and raw speed of Adama Traore, and then the slender craft of Harry Wilson, who can cause trouble, but he is a completely different animal to the man who's replacing. So difficult to keep track of, Adama Traore, and it's because he's got such confidence and raw speed.
Indeed, Harry Wilson, look, if he gets within shooting range, 25-30 yards out, we've seen him do that on that left foot. He can pop him in the top corner. He's done that a good few times. Free kicks as well, he should be useful.
Dalot immediately fouls him, and now Manchester United are going to make a change here. And who are they calling back? I think they're calling back. Is that Johnny Evans who's being called back? Matthijs de Ligt is getting ready. I'd be surprised to see both of those two come on. And certainly Matthijs de Ligt is getting ready to come onto the field of play. Or maybe just Johnny was told that he wouldn't be going on, which is why he's told to sit down. But Fernandes has got it. And to Rashford. Xerxes. Garnacho on the right-hand side has got the opportunity to pick up the ball. He does that. He slaloms infield. Picks out Fernandes. Edge of the D. Tries to get it onto his right foot. Shoots towards the corner. Not enough power in the shot. It's straight at the goalkeeper in the end. And Leno makes an easy save, but it was good football by Manchester United. Fast, quick, dynamic break down the right channel. Xerxes, Rashford, Garnacho all involved, and then Fernandes couldn't find the finish, Steve Bruce.
Yeah, Xerxes made a terrific run, what opened up the whole gap for Fernandes, and you're expecting him with his ability to go and bend it in the top corner. Big run from the boy, and unfortunately Fernandes, who hasn't had his usual clinical self about him today, unfortunately he's put straight down the goalkeeper's throat.
It was a brilliant run from Xerxes, wasn't it? Because he wasn't ever going to get the ball, but what he did was he took the attention of the defender away for that split second, which allowed Fernandes to come in on his right foot and get the shooting opportunity. A shooting opportunity which I think he'll feel he should have done better with.
Well, it's not often you see this, but it looks as if there's going to be now two centre-backs coming on. So Harry, obviously, who's been struggling with injuries as such too.
Well, Harry Maguire is coming on, and on comes Matthijs de Ligt, and on comes Mazraoui, and on comes Johnny Evans. So Dalot is going to go to right back, Lisandro Martinez is going to go to left back, and Johnny Evans is going to go into the centre of defence alongside Matthijs de Ligt. It's a debut for Matthijs de Ligt, who signed from Bayern Munich. Had a very good summer, actually. It was his birthday this week. He got married in the summer, signed for Manchester United. It's all happening in his household.
Absolutely, and I think there lies the problem that Ten Hag obviously faces. What he was talking about at the start of the game before it, of his frustration that he didn't think these players could make 90 minutes. Having to make two substitutions and bring two centre-halves on tells you the problems that he's got.
Fernandes over the top for Garnacho to chase. He's got the beating of Robinson. He's into the penalty area. He squares it into the box. Oh, it's not reached Marcus Rashford, and once again Kenny Tete has just got there in the nick of time. And on the edge of the 6-yard box, after Garnacho had peeled away at rapid pace down the inside right channel, teed the ball up into the centre. Again, there's not a red shirt to finish it off.
Brilliant defending that from Kenny Tete. One, to track the run of Marcus Rashford, because we know how quick Rashford is, but Tete matched him shoulder to shoulder, and then when that ball come across right along the 6-yard line, he just managed to get his heel on it and allow Bernd Leno to come and pick it up.
Mazraoui's getting a hell of a reception as he walks around the perimeter of the playing surface, and quite rightly so. He really has made an impact. And it's a good start to life in a Manchester United jersey for Mazraoui. Here is Martinez poking it forward. Casemiro takes it on, flicks it for Rashford to Fernandes, who comes this side. He looks and plays it wide towards the left. Manchester United on the attack with Casemiro now, and numbers in the box. They steer it towards the back post. Anthony Robinson tries to keep it alive. He's only given it to Garnacho. Couldn't control his header, but did control his pass back towards Dalot, who's crossed into the box. Is too close to Leno, who bends down, pulls it into his chest, and much to the frustration of the nearly 77,000 inside here tonight. It's a Fulham ball away to our left-hand side. Fulham will be pleased if they emerge here with a point, but they will think they've had chances too to steal it.
Yeah, they have. I mean, United have had the best situations, I think, on the night, but Fulham, again, look dangerous between the two boxes when they can pick the ball up and they've got people that can travel with it.
Here is Kearney, moving up towards the midpoint of the Manchester United half. Iwobi out towards the left. It flipped in towards Wilson. Wilson trying to go round Matthijs de Ligt, who just holds him off, allows the ball to go out of play. Matthijs de Ligt, who becomes the first player ever to play for Manchester United, Juventus, Bayern Munich and Ajax. It's quite a roster of clubs to have.
Wow, that's some CV, isn't it? Terrific. He looks the part, doesn't he? As soon as he strides onto the pitch, big, intimidating figure.
Scott McTominay comes onto the pitch to be applauded on as still a Manchester United player. He takes over from Kobbie Mainoo. He has been linked with a number of moves this summer as Scott McTominay, including one to Fulham, who were after him for a little bit. He was the subject of interest too from Napoli. He was one of Manchester United's most reliable sources of goals last season, Scott McTominay.
Great player to be able to bring on, because you know when you ask Scott McTominay to go on and fulfill a role, he'll do that and he'll get himself in the box and he can pinch a goal. He just might be that sort of change that can make the difference.
And the Fulham fans rather enjoying the fact that Scott McTominay is on the pitch, because they can see he wants to play for Fulham, which they did with gusto. The ball loose inside the midfield, given away by Casemiro. Bassi profits from that, comes forward, gives it to Wilson. Wilson into the path of Kearney. Kearney is nobbled by Johnny Evans, who's just a little bit late there, Johnny Evans. And a free kick given and taken very quickly by Fulham. And they almost found Raul Jimenez, but Andre Onana was very alert to sprint to the edge of his penalty area, right from the middle of his goal, and gather the ball up in front of the Mexican Raul Jimenez, and manages to clear for Manchester United. It's still 0-0 with 5 minutes to go. Are we going to have a late winner on Talksport? And if we don't, what are the phone calls going to say to the Sports Bar Weekender with Majestic and Jermaine Pennant? Here is Raul Jimenez, forward, tries to run through the middle of the Manchester United half and poke it into Wilson, but it's repelled by United. And then Garnacho, who's got the better of Robinson once again, turns, gets the ball on the edge of the box. He was held up, now he needs to release it. He's tripped to the floor. I thought he fell off over the ball there, actually, and that's why the referee has allowed play on. And the ball is spilt in Fulham's favour. Just needed to use that a little bit better, I think.
That's 2 or 3 times he's got in that situation and fell over, and he's looking for the foul, and it didn't even look like a foul that time either.
I think he just stepped on the ball on that occasion. And Fulham fans think that their team can win it. Tete runs between Rashford and Martinez. Now it's back on this near touchline with Kearney. Kearney being pushed and pushed and pushed all the way back towards the edge of the centre circle. Manchester United in danger of dropping points again at Old Trafford. It was a habit that they got into last season. In fact, you might remember that there was real late drama when these two met back in February, and Alex Iwobi ended up winning the game right at the end of stoppage time in the 7th minute of the match. Fernandes rides the challenge down this left side from Kearney, picks the ball up, looks up, he's got loads of space to play the ball into, and there's a lot of room for Xerxes, who now turns and powerfully runs towards goal. He releases the ball to Casemiro. Garnacho with a cross, Xerxes with a touch, into the corner, and it's in, and Manchester United have scored, and Joshua Xerxes, off the bench on his debut, scores the goal at the Stratford end to put Manchester United into the lead with 4 minutes to go. It's all gone a bit Dutch at Old Trafford, and Erik ten Hag
just unveiled his plan to steer Manchester United out of the Netherlands. Manchester United 1, Fulham 0. Joshua Zirkzee on his debut scores what could be the winning goal. It's the first goal of the 2024-25 season, and it's Manchester United with a goal crafted by Fernandes, finished by Zirkzee. That lead with 2.5 minutes left.
Yeah, great finish. Get yourself in the box, put the ball in an area, ask someone to get on the end of it, run, sprint, attack a ball. That's exactly what's happened in that situation.
To be fair, I thought McTominay had got the touch on the goal, but oh no, I know it's a left-footed, it's a great finish, and what a time to score your first goal for Man U.
Joshua Zirkzee with a telling touch, a beautifully crafted goal. It's a lovely touch with his left foot.
Goal. It's a brilliant finish. It really is. And I like to see that when you get a new guy turning up at your club. Great when they get off to a flying start. That will fill him with so much confidence. That really will.
Well, he says he's not a 9, but he finished like one.
Yeah. Well, he certainly took it really, really well, didn't he? And started the move and arrived in the box. Good finish. Delighted for him. You're right, Andy. It could do him the world of good. He just come here on a big transfer fee. Didn't start the game, but has come off the bench. Mate, they got the winner.
Well, Manchester United are flooded with Dutch players that have played in the Eredivisie. A Dutch coach, a Dutch assistant manager, a Dutch first team coach, and a Dutch goal scorer. Manchester United lead with seconds remaining at the end of the first game of the Premier League season. It's got to smack a hallmark of the first season of Erik ten Hag's tenure. Here is Wilson, though, looking to respond for Fulham, getting it onto his left foot, then cutting towards the edge of the penalty area as they come onto the attack with just 30 seconds to go. He tries to go on the outside. Across comes Rashford. Martinez is out there as well, and it goes for a free kick down by the corner flag. In that first season, Andy, when they got into Europe, they got to the Champions League, there was a lot of this. Late goals, winning goals in the final few minutes, turning things around.
Yeah, Adrian said at the start of the night that we're seeing more of this, more of these goals right at the end of these matches, and that was a huge one. It really was. The relief, you could sense it, it's palpable around the stadium when that one rolled into the corner of the net beyond Bernd Leno.
Well, Fernandes will take some credit for crafting the beginning of that goal. Garnacho with the assist right at the end, and then the finish from Zirkzee, which at the moment looks like getting 3 points for United, but there's 4 minutes of added time to play, and Pereira sings a free kick in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's headed away by Manchester United. Bassi did get first contact on that, but Manchester United get it clear. 2 changes to come here, and Jay Stansfield is about to come on, wearing the number 28. He was on loan last season at Birmingham City. He's been linked with a return there. He got 13 goals in 47 in a team that were relegated from the Championship. He's on the pitch for the last few minutes, and Harrison Reed is on too. Pereira is off, and so is Sasa Lukic for the last few seconds of this match. Manchester United about to win on the opening day for the 8th time in 10 seasons. It's not been perfect, and Erik ten Hag did warn that his team weren't 100% ready, but it was all about not dropping points tonight and getting through the first weeks of the season, working hard and refining the team. There'll be a bit of breathing space to do that now, if they can see this out. Manchester United 1, Fulham 0. Joshua Zirkzee on debut with a goal. He's got the ball inside the centre circle. A little turn away, and he held it up well. And he's going to be a fan favourite if he continues in this zone. He's popping it around nicely, and so are Manchester United as they come down the left, and Tete has misjudged the challenge. Fernandes into the box, and the back post. Garnacho is there, but so was Calvin Bassey, who did really well, and Anthony Robinson coming in from full-back. They just about stopped him from finishing it off.
Great defending. I think it was Anthony Robinson, actually. You would think it was a certain goal.
Yeah, really good play from Bruno, but here come Fulham again.
And Kearney's got it left side, and over on this near side, Jimenez is waiting for a delivery. De Ligt goes towards the ball. It comes towards Jimenez, away by Martinez. It's away and out to Bruno Fernandes, who just wants to hold on to it now and run down the clock. There's only about 100 seconds left here at Old Trafford. Remember, tomorrow we'll bring you Ipswich against Liverpool on the opening Saturday of the season with the award-winning game day programme with Reshmin Chowdhury, who will get things underway at 11 o'clock. And then Adrian will take you round the grounds from 2:30. The new phone-in with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy follows the classified check and all the reports from the big games and the interviews. And then the Sunday session comes from Stamford Bridge, where we'll bring you updates from Brentford, but also anchor our coverage from Chelsea against Manchester City. And Monday night football, the finish of the weekend, is Leicester against Tottenham. That's live and only here on Talksport. Ball out of play on this near side. Manchester United have a throw with less than 50 seconds remaining. You get the feeling that Manchester United needed a positive start tonight, Andy.
Yes, very much. They needed this result. Look, again, it's been a bit chaotic and frantic. Not a tremendous amount of control. All the same sort of phrases that we've used for United over the last couple of years. But look, looks like they're going to get over the line. And that's crucial. Early on in the season, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you need the points on the board.
Great day. Oh, a mistake by Bassi, and Rashford is away. Rashford squares it for Garnacho to finish it off. He's missed an open goal. Should be 2-0. How have Manchester United not scored a second goal? A mistake by Bassi. Rashford was running through. He was one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Instead of shooting, he squared it to Garnacho, and Garnacho just collapsed.
I hope they go on to win the game, because that is an unbelievable miss. I'm surprised Rashford has actually passed it.
Yes.
I would have been expecting Rashford to go and stick that in the back of the net.
Oh, that's a terrible miss from Garnacho. He's completely missed the target from 8 yards out. 4 minutes have been played. The whistle's being blown around the ground. They want it to come to an end now. They think they've got the job done here, the Manchester United fans. Fulham still continue to play. There is the full-time whistle, though. Well, they might not be top of the league for a lot of the season, but it's a great start for Erik ten Hag and his relaunched Manchester United team, who have started with 3 points thanks to debut boy Joshua Zirkzee. Fulham will lick their wounds because they know they had opportunities too to get on the score sheet before Manchester United won it with just 3 minutes to go. A couple of positive debuts, not only from Joshua Zirkzee, but from Nasir Mazraoui as well, means that Manchester United set the tone in the Premier League. They're certainly not perfect, but it's the perfect result on opening night and the perfect debut for the new £36 million man. It's finished at Old Trafford. Manchester United 1, Fulham 0.
Well, what a start for him. He only came on after 61 minutes. He's only gone and scored the winner. Erik ten Hag said they were undercooked, and they looked it for quite a while. Fulham, the chances there, they had a 2-on-1 second half, they had a 3-on-2 second half, did not make the most of those chances, and Manchester United capitalised on it, and they're where they are at the top of the table and been there for some time. And Steve Bruce, what's a debut for Joshua Zirkzee off the bench? How must he be feeling right now?
Well, you could see after he scores the goal, all these touches, and you can see when the ball's played up to him, that elegance he's got. He looks as if he's got great awareness around him. He couldn't have wished for a better start, especially after coming off the bench. We could see what Ten Hag meant when he said that there's a lot undercooked. When you have to bring two centre-backs on because your right back and your centre-back is struggling through, looks as if just fatigue basically, then you understand that the problem's what he's got. However, they'll be better for it, and they've certainly won the game. And the debutant who's went on to score the winner, what a great start for him, and that'll give him at least a life going into his new career.
And Andy Townsend, I watched a lot of Zirkzee over the summer when I knew United were getting him. Went back, watched some Bologna games. So much about his game that you can't pigeonhole him. Yeah. And so therefore people doubt whether he can finish, because he's not an out-and-out number 9. He's shown he can finish.
Yeah, he certainly did. Again, it was just I've been screaming out all night for something just put into the box aid, and just ask someone to go and make a bit of contact, look to get on the end of it. He does exactly that, guides it past Bernd Leno and wins his team all 3 points. Marco Silva will be really disappointed the nature of the goal they've conceded. Bruno Fernandes is 60, 70 yards right on the touchline from the Fulham goal. Tom Kearney's behind him, and he allows him to somehow wriggle out of a situation, and from there Xerxes knocks it out wide, gets in the box, and it's in the back of the net. So that was careless and it was unnecessary. The game was very much in the balance. With 20 minutes to go, you couldn't really decide who was going to do this. It was just going to take something, just a little bit of class, a little bit of quality, and the new boy give us that.
Well, Ten Hag will say Steve Bruce, he got his substitutions right, and you can't really argue with that. But does it also prove that United really can't afford to not have a striker in their starting lineup, especially at home?
Yeah, and he must have thought that physically he wasn't quite ready to have that hour in him. He's better off with half an hour. So that's a big decision that he's obviously made, and he's made the right one. People were questioning it beforehand. Why has he not started the new centre forward? Obviously the physicality thing might have been a problem. He's probably only been off for 3 weeks or whatever he's done, and he's thought maybe coming on as a sub we can give us that impact. So well done the manager, great call.
I'd say that as well, and he probably will say that, and you can't really argue with it. You said that there were flaws, they weren't perfect, Andy. Manchester United, can you sum up what was wrong with them?
Sorry, so
can you sum up what was wrong with them?
Well, in terms of, again, I thought first half it was all a little too intricate with Mount and Fernandes at the top, and you had Ahmad coming in on his left foot, Rashford looking to do likewise on the other side of the field, and they never really stretched Fulham, they never really tested them, and I thought it was all a little bit in front of Fulham and a little bit too easy to defend. Naturally, first game of the season, everyone always gets a bit knackered with 20 minutes to go. Gaps do start to appear. Even us. There are spaces to exploit out on the field, and I wasn't sure who was going to take it, Aid, honestly. I really wasn't, but to their credit, United, one thing that they've always done, any United team here, is you never rule them out. You're never not sure of what they're capable of. You know they will always keep going right to the last seconds, and they did that again tonight.
I've got to tell you, Haji Wright has just scored a 97th minute winner for Coventry against Oxford, 3-2. That's live on Talksport 2, closing moments of that one. Andy, on the Fulham misses, the 2-on-1 they had, the 3-on-2, they've got to score those. I mean, that's basic stuff, isn't it?
Well, look, you're 45 yards from goal and you're 2-on-1, and all you need is one simple pass, the most bread and butter pass for Andreas Pereira to make, to find his teammate, and instead of that he knocks it straight to Harry Maguire, who intercepts. Now it's in those moments you want to, they know what it takes to win here. They did it last season, but tonight they needed to take one of those. They needed to present somebody with that sort of opportunity, and lots of good situations they weren't turned into good chances, and that's a waste. That'll be something that Marco Silva, I'm sure, will pick his players up on. He'll be happy with the effort, the commitment. It was all there, but again, just at the top of the field when it matters, where it really counts, they didn't have it.
And we saw some entertainment deep in injury time, Steve Bruce. Pub football in added time. Calvin Bassey swinging and missing. Rashford had the chance to score. I mean, they passed it because it was easier for Garnacho to score. And then he missed.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good job they went on to win the game, isn't it? I couldn't believe that Rashford passed it. That tells you that he's not a real centre forward, because any other centre forward or a goal scorer would say, I'm taking this and bend it round the goalkeeper.
What's Van Nistelrooy say, Steve?
There's no way he'd have passed. That's for certain. No chance. And I think it was a bit of a shock to Garnacho. I mean, it's one of them that's going to go on them Christmas howlers, you know, and the old videos come out. Actually, certainly the worst miss we've seen for a long time.
Yeah, the ball that Rashford gave him was a little bit short, you know. It was a little bit short.
Behind him, wasn't it?
It was just a little bit behind him. He had to wait for it on his left peg. What he'd have really liked into an empty net was it to have had a little bit more pace on it, hit it with his right foot and just roll it in. As it was, he scuffs it wide, but as Steve said, they didn't need that. They've just about got it done tonight.
It has finished in the Championship. Coventry 3, Oxford 2. Coventry's first win, Oxford's first defeat of the season. But it is time now, after Manchester United beat Fulham 1-0, for us to pick our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day.
Right, let's have a big board meeting about it. Steve Bruce, Andy Townsend. Who's getting your man of the match?
I'm giving it to the goal scorer.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, he was only on for half an hour, and I believed Man U were better when he came on. It gave them a focal point. It allowed Fernandes to go and play where he likes to play, and certainly give Manchester United they had a bit more something going forward. So I'm going to go for the debutant, even though he only played half an hour.
And what I love about the goal was not just the finish. He's actually been instrumental in the early part of the move. How has he found that much space, Andy? 35, 40 yards out?
Yeah.
Oh, incredible.
Well, again, he just drops off the front line, and I mentioned that Tom Kearney's challenge on Bruno Fernandes was pathetic, really. There was no, he mustn't let him roll out and find his teammate there. He's dropped off the front line, he's knocked it wide, and then the important thing, got himself in the box, didn't stand there and sort of just looking for maybe a shot from distance, sprinted towards that penalty spot and applied a really important touch, and it was a really good finish. And I mentioned about the roof coming off when that goal went in. I mean, I know this roof ain't the best. We've had a fair drop of water coming through it, so it wouldn't take a lot for this to come off. Probably a couple of nuts and bolts, that's it, holding it on. But it felt like it, Steve, didn't it? When it went in, the noise that went up, wow.
Oh, there's nothing quite like scoring here in the last minute, is there? It's a wonderful theatre for it. Still, everybody talks about the roof coming in and all the rest of it. It's still a wonderful theatre. And towards the end, you heard that roar and that huge excitement that Man U have scored in the last 2 minutes again.
With memories of that Sheffield Wednesday game coming back?
Well, that's too long to even think about then. Did it have a roof on then? I don't know. If that was open, it was that long ago.
Amazing. Josh Zirkzee, who's on in the 61st minute, got the winner, man of the match from today's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.